Nas, fly without boarding pass. Couldn't catch me, I be moving fast. Call me a shooting star. Let 'em know who you are. Flying up in a bar, wish on a star. Time to show 'em who's in charge. Call me a shooting star. Didn't even get to cross. I said I'm moving too far. Get to glass. Looking at a shooting star. Got more than a couple of people going mad. I swear they're rooting hard. Tell them I be big in the game like she went and got them breast implants. I said I'm moving too fast. Didn't even get to glance. I'm ready to eat up track like I'm seated in a restaurant. If you had swag like mine, you know it's best to flaunt. We aren't hating because you aren't. Shining like it's neon. Rock like kings of Leon. Shooting stars across the galaxy. I stand out, so don't be mad at me. Infiltrate, I'm with my strategy. When I turn up, then I just have to leave. Shooting stars across the galaxy. I stand out, so don't be mad at me. Infiltrate, I'm with my strategy. When I turn up, then I just have to leave. Yeah, shoot, yeah, shoot, yeah, shooting, yeah, shooting, shooting stars. Didn't even get to cross.
The first game we look for, Robbie. Tottenham away. When we got Tottenham away? Tottenham away. When we got Tottenham away?
Good evening, Tottenham Away Massive. We're back. It's been a long time. The show you've all been waiting for. You know what's coming. If you don't know, buckle up because this is going to be explosive.
Don't know, get to know. Back to you still. I'm done.
Back to you still. I'm done. Iggy.
By the way, we have to apologise to a lot of people because they've been we haven't done watch-alongs. Everyone's been ill, busy with work, blah, blah, everyone's saying, where's our watch-alongs gone? Where's our streams gone? Have you guys split up? No one's, none of that. Everyone's been a little bit like, well, a bit of everything. Work off the boil and with sickness and busy with work. But we're here, man. We're here.
Look, I mean, if you guys had to talk to these guys all the time, you get a little sick of them too. I was
Come on, man. The guys want to know, man. The guys that follow us.
No. Will's a celebrity now. He goes on all the different channels. Will's a
celebrity. There we go. No, it's just like where have we been? Like, you know, people been getting it, especially like the oldest members of the channel that have been following us from the beginning. They've been in touch saying everything all right, yeah. Everything's cool, guys. Everything's cool. As you can see, everyone's good and well now. And yeah. Here we are.
How-
By the
how
way,
you-
Family,
I'm good. I'm good, by the way.
You're
Yeah,
good.
yeah,
How's
I'm good,
Will?
man. I'm good.
How you been, Will?
I've been good. Really busy, unfortunately. But starting to slow back down, starting to get back to normal. So we should be racking things back up again soon.
We have been very active on the market.
How?
We don't know
I
Stowe's
do.
opinion on
Yeah,
Timo
yeah.
Werner, so I'm
He
sure you
likes
lot
him.
want to hear about it.
I thought he was well chuffed we got him.
Who do we
Listen,
buy?
if you want
I'm
to,
not even- I haven't even paid attention.
if you want to go now, I'll mute all of you. I'll just let rip. I'll let rip. I'm happy to. I'm ready to go when
Let's
you are.
go,
I'm ready
man,
to
let's
go.
go.
Who did we
Look
sign
at
anyway? I don't
everyone in
even
the
know.
chat laughing
Illness
already.
or no illness, I am ready to tear people to pieces. JP, how are you? How are you, JP?
Yeah, let's start with a good
Yeah,
message.
man,
That's
not too bad. As Iggy said, health stuff and all of that palaver. But I like, even though as much as I've probably not really been kind of off the news and stuff like that. Obviously, I know who we signed and watched the game and stuff like that. But kind of the other day, I was in Asda, boom, grabbing some bits, and someone came up to me and was like, "Oh, Tottenham away, JP." So I'm really sorry.
Yeah.
I know you say you watch a lot.
You celebrity,
I'm really
JP.
sorry that I didn't get your name. But give us, if you're watching, give us your name and I'll give you a shout out and stuff. But I'll see you again soon. And that was like really nice. It was like, God, like I do miss doing it as well. So it was nice to catch up with some folks not actually at the game.
Big up to the Asda crew.
So if as the man is watching, make yourself
As the
known so we
man.
can big you up.
No,
As
don't
the
say
man.
that. He was a very nice gentleman.
Will, just so you know, Asda's like our version of Walmart.
Walmart.
In fact, I think Walmart own Asda.
Yeah.
I think they
Yeah.
bought Asda, didn't they? Yeah.
Something
There
like
you
that.
go.
Yeah.
Let's hello to the chat. Let's hello to the chat. It's been a while. Big up. We've got Elside in the house, Swifty, Ian's in the house, Tony, Tom, Sfraggle BG, Graham's in the building, Nima, William, Jason, Mark Cousins, Soundboy, Language Angels. We've got Chris, we've
Big
got
up, Paolo.
Adrian, we've got Rupsik1, Eurocave, Staharip, Daniela, Double D, JJ's in the house, Ron, we've got Alpesh, 3SS Sports, we've got Sammy, Baz, Paul's in the house, big up. We've got Bill, we've got Scott, we've got Sophie, we've got Alpesh, we've got Vil670, Ryan Isaacs. How you doing?
Why are you in the mud still? Why are you in the mud still?
Always in the mud.
Why are you in the mud already?
He's never out
7 minutes and you're in the mud already. Why?
See, look at this, right? You've got people who are saying back again, Stell's back again, tell a friend. You've got this one saying Stell is back. But Iggy picks up the one that says Stell mud. You see how Iggy thinks? That's the one that he homes in on, yeah? Okay. Big up to William, big up to Robert Culture. We've got John George, big up to you. Who else we got here? We've got Mark, how you doing? Hope you're well. Bill's in the building. John Soaks, big up to you. Kieran's in the house. Quez Ali, Vikanom, big up to you. Lee, where are you? Maybe on the show. Get on the show.
Has he got the link? I might have to send him the link.
It's in the chat. Rob Hotspur, big up to you. Luca 14, Roy, both of you, big up. Bring it, big boy. Good evening. And anyone else that comes late. 150 in the building. Smash a like, subscribe. Send me the link. It's in the chat. It's in the chat, no? I'll send it to Maz as well then. Send it to Maz as well.
I will. I'll do it now.
All righty. So, I'll tell you where I want to begin, right? We're going to get into all the Timo Werners and Brennans and Richies and players and that. But what I want to start with is it was the news today that
Forest.
I put in the title FFP, but it's not actually FFP. FFP is something different. It's about safe sustainability. Everton and Nottingham Forest have been charged. They've breached the Premier League profitability and sustainability rules. And if you go into the story, it says that Premier League clubs are only allowed to lose £105 million over 3 seasons, which is roughly 35 million per season. Forest is slightly different because they spent 1 year in the Championship, 2 years, sorry. The Premier League says both clubs have been confirmed. They are in breach of the rules. The case has now been referred to a judicial panel. And essentially what's going to happen now is, big up Lee, essentially what's going to happen now is, first of all, they're going to have a chance to appeal it. If it appeals, it goes all the way to the end of May. But then the final decision has to be made before the new season starts, before the AGM of the Premier League clubs, because whatever punishment is issued has to be done before the Premier League new season begins and the AGM happens. So it's either going to be a massive fine or it's going to be points. If it's points, Everton are getting stung twice in one season, because the last points deduction was for the 3 seasons in a row of profit sustainability from before. Look, I thought there was going to be a lot more clubs, but it's only Forest and Everton. What would you guys make of it? Do you think it's a bit harsh? At the end of the day, it's the rules.
I just got here. Where Everton's going to get more points deducted?
It's okay. So the points Everton got deducted was for the same breach, but going back in time. This is now a new start. So the last 3 years, this is a new set of accounts that have been looked at, and Everton have done it again. But some of the years also include, I think, one of the years from before as well. So it is a double whammy for them. But
surely that should be that. If they are going to get punished, surely that should be from next season. It's not fair. Like,
no, Iggy. I read up on this. The reason it has to be done this season is because it could affect relegation, promotion, and top 4 and European qualification.
To date, don't they?
They want it to date.
2-3 years.
They're going to go there, man. I don't think Everton won't. They won't be able to suffer. They won't be able to survive.
What is it by making? If it's under the 10 point, they still may make. They get a result.
It's a lot, man. It's a lot.
Lee's saying 6 points. Lee's saying 6 points.
That's what they're saying today. Put either minimum or maximum of 6 points for both clubs, apparently. Man, so that'll be 16 harsh for Everton altogether. That's mad.
It should be 10. You would think the president was set, right? If Everton got stung 10 the first time, it should literally be 10 for Forest, you would have thought.
It depends on the severity.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. It's just bad, but you know what? There's no excuse for it, man.
It's a minimum. There's
no excuse for it, because you're right, still. Everyone knows the rules, and everyone should, like, depending on the size of the club and the stature and what have you, should live within your means. You know, if that I'm not sure whatever, and where obviously this massively went wrong there, how it was all handled. And Forest, you know, they signed about 79 players, didn't they?
The thing with Forest, Iggy, I think kind of what they were saying in terms of having some mitigating circumstances would be the fact that when they came up, they literally had a hell of a lot of loan players.
Yeah.
So for them to have a squad to give them the best opportunity to stay in that league, or at least play to that league, not gain an advantage in that league, they had to go out and get players, like permanent players.
Yeah.
But they kind of like, they're saying more that they're going to work with the league and just see what can be kind of like what kind of arrangement they can come to in a way. I don't think they're categorically saying no or something like that. But
I'm not sure that's a suitable defence, though, JP, if I'm honest, because you have as a club, as a multi-million-pound club, right? You're going to have departments, a finance department, and they're going to have a legal department, and they're going to make sure that they're within the rules, right, when they're purchasing loan players. And in the event that you're doing well and you're going to get promoted, you're then going to plan accordingly. So you can't just have like...
You have to have a plan A and a plan B.
Yeah, absolutely. You can't just go into a new league, have like 15 or 16 players on loan, however many players I had on loan, and then think, oh, well, now we need to buy a hell of a lot more players to stay up because we're not good enough. Well, that's the whole point of, getting promoted, having, a benefit of being promoted with the sponsorships and everything, and buying your players and doing your business in the summer, right? You don't break the rules knowing that you're sort of breaking the rules in that respect and hoping that the Premier League is going to be lenient because you're trying to stay up, as is everyone else.
That stuff would never happen at Tottenham Hotspur. Never.
One of the benefits of having an accountant, Iggy, right?
Well, this is it. But this is the only thing you can say. So, everyone's aware of the rules. There's no thing. Especially given the fact how hot financial fair play been, part of us and football
I
for the
think
last few years.
FFP rules have been in place for us for the last 20 years.
Yeah, so
we pre-planned it before they came in.
Yeah,
we pre-planned.
That's it. Just as my pet peeve. Now, I've seen the reports that more teams are going to get, punished for FFP, and like I said, I'm not going to name names or whatsoever. But there's people. There's like 4 or 5 people, guys and girls, who say, "You see, Daniel Levy is not all that bad. He's great because he's positioned us in a position that we don't get punished by FFP." And I cringe whenever I say that, because the thing is, you're using the point of him not having ambition because he wants to be protected by the FFP. And not everybody that has ambition break the rules of the FFP. So they want to laugh and say, ha ha, Daniel Levy's better because of he's not in trouble with the FFP. The problem is that we haven't won for years, let alone a decade, more than a decade. Like, I hate when people use that to say, well, this justifies him for not showing.
Mo, but everyone does that, man. Everyone picks and chooses whatever argument there is to suit the narrative. Everybody does that. So, no.
Okay, well, let's put it this way: if the top 6 clubs all get deducted points, or the top 10 clubs all get deducted points, and we're the only club that doesn't get deducted points, then
still losers.
We're gonna win the league.
We're going to win the league, yeah. No, but then he's got premise, right, to say, I was right. Okay, but that's only one season, right? And you can't wipe off what happened in the previous seasons and the lack of success.
We went 3 windows without buying anyone, didn't we?
Exactly. So it's
yeah. Well, good with
I agree with you.
I don't think finances is an issue for us. I think it's how we spend the money we've got. I've said that for like 3 years now. I think we're all right. I think most clubs are run well in the league. We're one of them. It's how you spend the money, though. Like, I mean, we're going to get onto that. Believe you me, we're going to talk about these players today. But I don't know. It's interesting to see that those 2 clubs halfway during the season could seriously be affected. But look, let's move it on from that, because you know what? It doesn't affect us. We're all right. We're clean. It's probably one of the only big positives about Levy.
Jack, I'm all right.
We're clean. We've still got that Defoe thing hanging over our heads.
That was from like 1902 or something.
Doesn't matter. Goes back to 15 years, apparently, they go back to.
You
never know. Could rear its ugly head.
Listen, we'll find out, because it looks like they're coming down now on a lot of clubs and behaviour.
It's weird though, still, because I also heard, and I know someone put it in the chat about how comes we've not done anything with like Man City yet, but like apparently, like I heard I had some program earlier that they were saying that with Man City, they're going back through all the evidence, and apparently some of the evidence, whether it was fabricated or not, has disappeared. And there's a hell of a lot of cases going on at the moment.
Yeah, but but JP, Man City isn't a Premier League issue alone. It's a UEFA. Okay, so what's happened today is about profit and sustainability. These are Premier League rules. Man City's issue is a UEFA FFP rule. It's a completely different governing body and investigation. It's, if anything, Man City's is a far bigger case.
It's 115 points, isn't it? That's why it's taken so long.
It's probably the biggest case right now. It's up there. It's probably the biggest case. For sure.
Like today's pretty straightforward. Have you stayed within the limits of how much you're allowed to lose financially over 3 years? That's all it is. Man City's is everything and anything. Like it's It's from sponsorship of the
vast.
stadium, where the money came from, who paid the ground staff, which account paid the tea lady, how they moved money between different clubs that they own in America and Europe.
They haven't admitted to anything. The others maybe have, which is why they're like,
yeah,
they haven't. So you've got to go through the process. But the others team said, yeah, kept they held their hands up, said, yeah, we did that, which is why they got dealt with straight away. So we shall see. 2025. Yeah, you're right, Upish. So we're not long now. Anyway, so you, Jack, I'm all right. Well, it's not doesn't affect us.
Yeah, that's what just interesting talking about, because this is going to happen every year now. Every time this year, this is going to be a regular thing now. So there's going to be clubs that are in trouble and clubs that aren't. So, but anyway, there was a game yesterday. Man United 2, Spurs 2. Not a bad result for Spurs, considering our record at Old Trafford has been pretty bad. Man United took the lead. Spurs equalised. Man United took the lead again. Spurs equalised again. Starting lineup, chaps, when you saw Vicario, Porro, Romero, Van der Ven and Dogi, I'm sure you all got excited seeing our best defensive five starting. But then you saw Højbjerg, Skip, Bentancur. I don't know about you guys. I was very worried. And then Johnson, Richarlison and Werner. I mean, I just lost the plot. I lost the plot. But anyway.
But look at the bench. Look at the bench, man. Like, who out of that bench are you going to put in the team?
We had Austin, Chicken Royale, Dragusin, Dorrington, Donnelly, Santiago, and Brian Hill. Can I ask you guys, right, on a serious note, right? When you saw the starting lineup, is there anybody on the bench you would have started, even if it meant changing formation, or would you have gone with exactly what Ange did?
I think I would have gone with what he's done.
Yeah, who are you going to put?
What other option was there?
What are you going to do?
Against Man United, you're not going to put one of the youngsters on there, are you?
The thing is, you've got to hold one of the centre backs. The one that you got to hold. You got to hold Dragusin back, because you've got two centre backs who are coming back after a long layoff, playing together. So you're thinking one of them might not make the end of the game. So you may need Dragusin to come in. Emerson's there as well as a backup. And then you look at the midfield, not really much you can do there. We kind of guessed it will be those three guys. Although Kulusevski being ill wasn't part of the plan. We always thought Kulusevski might make it in the end, but obviously there was an issue with illness throughout the week with apparently and Postecoglou confirmed it. You know, Udogie, Skip and Kulusevski were all ill that week, so two of them made it, one of them didn't. So that was the surprise, is the fact that Kulu didn't make it, and then we had to. I don't know who was going to play originally, whether it was Skip or whether it was Højbjerg. But in the end, they both ended up coming in. So, and then up front, you just think to yourself, goals. You're just thinking goals. Where are these goals going to come? So you're really putting the pressure on the defense to say, look, if we're going to get anything out of it, the defense really needs to have a top game and make sure we don't concede too many. So because we're not going to score a lot of goals with the forward line that we have to present. So it was a tough. Would I have gone somewhere different? I think if the scenario was a little bit different, maybe tempted to have gone three at the back, you know. But then again, you're going three at the back against Man United, who predominantly play the wide areas. It's a tough one.
Do you think the club actually think like that, though? You see, I don't think maybe Ange or even the club think, oh no, we've got Timu, Richarlison and Johnson up front. I think we've got our £65 million talisman, our £50 million investment, and our 16 million quid or loanee risk-averse, low-risk signing up front.
I don't know if he was thinking that. I certainly was. I was thinking, like, we really are asking one of these guys to really, come up with a goal. But there was a lack of creativity, even without that forward line. You look behind them, there was a clear lack of creativity. Yeah. I think Porro ended up being our most creative player with Bentancur. So, but in the end, we was a little bit depleted. But it has to be said, and I think Roy Keane touched upon it after the game, they were massively depleted. And whilst he understands that Spurs were probably content with a draw, given the record. So just said that we got an awful record there. He goes, it seems like they're a little bit, as in he's referring to Spurs, that they were a little bit overjoyed with this result, as if they'd won the game, when in fact there's only a draw against a really bad Man United team. So
can I say something on this? Right, I'm not having that. And
that's what he said. I didn't say I said. That's what Roy said.
Yeah, but he's just a biased Man United.
He's just talking crap, though, isn't he?
At the end of the day, they had Anthony on the bench. Might not be great, right? Might not be great, but they've got an experienced Premier League player on the bench. They got.
Do you think we went over the top with a draw?
No. I think we should have won the game. I think we should have won the game.
No. I know we were the better side, but they're saying that we as a club, as a fans, we went a bit over the top, celebrating this draw.
I think Spurs fans were happy with the draw because we had nothing. We had nothing to come off the bench.
I did watch
to change the game.
Yeah.
I did watch.
But Neville was more fair. He said if the Spurs had one or two players more from that, like Maddison, Son, we would have won that game. There's no way to say that.
During that interview, though, Iggy, a lot of it was because obviously Jamie Redknapp was there and he was lushing over, Ange this, Ange that, and
they hit back.
And then Gary Neville came in and he was saying, you know what, they played really well, and they kind of they should feel gutted.
They were.
That's where Roy Keane came in and going. Well,
yeah, but they were. I'll tell you why they were butthurt. They were butthurt because Jamie Redknapp saying, "Look at the difference Ange Postecoglou's done in 6 months with this Tottenham side, following the two negative or defensive managers that we had previously. How comes this guy Ten Hag, who's been there as long as he has, which is way more than Postecoglou, he's made it then and he hasn't."
This winds me up, right? Last season when we had Conte, some of us, right, said you don't change a system, you don't change the way you play. The club needs to change for the manager. You don't bring in a manager and tell him to change his ways. Everyone was hell-bent on changing Conte. Everyone was hell-bent on him doing it a different way rather than backing what he wanted to do, right? Now we've got Ange. Because the football's nicer on the eye, he shouldn't budge for anyone. He's allowed to lose 5 games because he's sticking to his plan. Listen, I love what Ange is doing. Long may it continue, but there's some hypocrisy here because the same people that were slamming Conte are the same people now saying, "Oh, isn't Ange great for sticking to his principles?" Don't you think that's a bit disingenuous from the media?
Agreed.
I mean, of course,
the media being disingenuous. Come on, Snow. Never happens.
Even our fan base.
That never happens either.
All fans are like that. As or elsewhere. Of course, you're going to be more acceptant with someone that's playing the football that you prefer to watch than a football that you don't prefer to watch. You're going to be more patient because you're seeing signs.
Yeah, are we signing better players, Iggy? Are we signing better? Conte was given Clement Longap. This Ange gets Van der Ven and Dragutin. It's like, oh my God, you're getting proper players. Like,
maybe there was something about Conte that didn't convince our owners. Then has to be said.
Yeah, maybe that's true.
We don't know this.
True.
So maybe they're more sold on what.
And Jose and Nuno.
Yeah. Listen, Maz, I'm not saying it's all right, but I think
it's basically agreeing.
For me, what we went wrong is like. After Pochettino, we should have gone with someone. I'm not saying Ange Postecoglou himself, but with that, someone could carry on. So Postecoglou's mindset and the way he wants to play football would have been more appropriate to have someone like him straight after Pochettino instead of going through this whole merry-go-round.
See, I don't think they would have backed him the same. I know we're like playing hypotheticals now and with the benefit of hindsight, but let's say we got Ange as he was just after Poch. I don't think that the club would have necessarily backed him to the same way as they've backed him now. But it's because we've gone through those 4 or 5 years of absolute misery, and them not backing the other managers that decided, maybe we should listen to the manager this time round.
Who knows, guys? Maybe Conte said.
I would say personally for me, it sounds more like, or it feels to me that they just are almost admitting that, or even at the time, that they got the manager choice wrong. Because
JP,
he didn't trust him with the money.
JP, maybe the outburst that Conte did after the Southampton game woke a few heads up and put it out there for the next manager to say, "Whoa, if you're going to come in and take this job, you better make sure that this is in place because I've just blew it all up for you."
needs to send Conte a thank you present then.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying maybe.
I'm sure he sent him a nice bottle of red.
Thanks for doing the hard work.
Blew everything up.
They give me whatever I want now. Whatever I want, they just give it to me. It's great. I love
Listen,
it.
it's fair to say that I think we as a fan base, I think there's one thing we can all agree with, that we are enjoying watching Tottenham Hotspur playing football
100%.
again. And I think that's the one thing we can all unite and say, man, I'm sitting down and I'm actually looking for I'm talking to my sons and my nephews. I'm saying, you know what, I'm really looking forward to the game. They are not, my apart from my youngest son, even my nephews, they're not Spurs fans, but they will sit and watch Spurs games now because they actually enjoy what Ange is going to come up with. And the fact that, you know, the one thing my nephew said it yesterday, he goes, I'm always laughing at the fact that nobody knows when players are going to come back. They're just in the team. Bentancur, bang. Romero out of nowhere. Now it's making us all believe that more. Medicine may make the Man City game. So the fact that nothing leaks out of Tottenham until the teams are announced, nobody knows. Right up until the team is announced, nobody knows who's going to be in that team.
Do you know what a coincidence? Do you know what a coincidence with that is, Iggy? You're not doing your dailies from the ground anymore.
Not even the Alistair goals, the ITKs. Nobody knows. Nobody knows. Maybe I should go. I'm gonna go back there. I'm gonna bring you the team news on the day.
I'll tell you one thing that Ange does far better than Conte and Mourinho, and I'll give him a lot of props for this.
Media, man.
He never, ever blames anyone but himself. Like 9 times out of 10,
he takes the responsibility, doesn't he?
Everything's calm.
I don't know a manager that's ever got on with it like this. No sulking, no cryptic like coding of words. Don't call me manager, call me coach. He's like, mate. It's my team. It's my choice. I deal with it. We've got injuries. Everyone knows. Like I have to say it. That is quite that's a breath of fresh air.
Everyone was going to say like
a lot of fans are jealous actually that he's like that. You know that a lot of fans are jealous. That
you know what? He's a likable character in the media. He's a likable character by opposite fans as well as us. There's other fans that like him as well. But everyone said like, you know, everything's going great for Ange. I wonder what he's going to be like when he's 3-4 defeats. If his character is going to change, it hasn't. He's still remained calm.
I think what I'm hearing, because yesterday, I was listening to Football Terrace. What's the guy's name? Terry Flewers. Heard Staffy. Like these are United fans. And then I'm hearing from other neutrals, and what I'm hearing is that they truly respect what Ange is doing with Tottenham, and some of them fear what is being done at Tottenham. Because they're like, how with B-rate players, right? With B-rate, C-rate players, they're still able to play the philosophy of Ange. They're still able to do the same style of football. And can you imagine if this guy gets back? And all of them, University, are saying the same thing. Can you imagine if this guy truly gets back? Truly get like I think Will has said this. It's a great screenplay. It's a great movie that Ange is writing. It's now the actors, right? What type of actors do we have? Do we have the A-listers or the B-listers at least to make this a good movie? And so that's what I find kind of remarkable in the sense that even when I saw the lineup, I was just like, gosh.
It's a low-budget movie, bro.
But when the game is being played, I'm like, damn, if we actually had some good players, man, this team, can you imagine where this team could go?
Yeah, but I mean, Cube just brought up a brilliant point though. I mean, Conte, I haven't looked at it, but I'm going by what Cube said as a reliable source. But we were fourth under Conte at this point in his season, and now we're 5th. But it just goes to show that Andrew's approach is won people over. Not only has it won people over, it's also won the fans over as well. And Stella's right, he is a breath of fresh air. He seems to me that he's got a very wise head on him. You know, he's got a lot of experience. He really believes in his process and what he's learned, and he knows that it's going to come through. Whereas I think not that Mourinho or Conte don't believe in what they do, but I think they just demand a lot more out of everything. Whereas rather than Ange sort of demanding, he brings people along with him, and he demands from them in a different way.
They both demand because of the CV and the curriculum they got. Winning everywhere.
Yeah, I want to hit on Maz's point that he went on C Cubes. Yes, C Cube has a point there, but you gotta look at context. Because that team that was 4th, Harry Kane was not injured. A couple of players, there was a couple of situations that Ange is dealing with now. If he had Harry Kane and a couple other people, and a couple of people said it, Star has said it, Will has said it. If we don't have the injuries, we're not 5th now. We're probably 2nd. We might still be 1st.
I raise your injuries, and I bring you Dyer, Davies, Sanchez, and everyone else.
We may still be 1st because yes, Conte at this time had us as 4th, but if just Kane alone with this team, Ange would probably have us. We would say if the Chelsea debacle that happened, we would still be top 4. I mean, we will still be
the next 2, 3, 4 games. He's gonna be without Kane. He has been all season, but he's gonna be without Son as well. So it's like, you know, the other previous managers, they didn't have that issue. They might have lost one, but here we're gonna be without. Well, we have been without one all season, but now Son's gonna be out. If South Korea go all the way, we're not gonna get Son back to Brighton. I want to say Brighton at home or Wolves. Brighton or Wolves away. I can't remember. Brighton at home's on the 10th and Wolves away on the 17th. So if South Korea go all the way, we're talking about he's going to miss Brighton inclusive. So we're not. If they go all the way to the final, we're not going to see Son till the 17th.
At least we get Pape Sarr and Basuma back. Kulu will be back from his illness. Maddison will be back.
Son's a big player for us, man. People forget just how big a player he is. He's a huge player, man.
He's our top goal scorer.
I see it now. Forget even the goals. Just having him in the team in that forward line.
He's a club captain as well.
But he's a massive part of our forward line, and to not have him potentially for what we are on the 15th of Jan, we potentially won't have him till Brighton, and that's on the 10th of Feb. All right, there's not a lot of games in between it. But it's very important games. Man City coming up, and then obviously, I can't remember the first week of Feb, but I know there's Brighton and Wolves. So massive, and there's a lot of points riding on it. So we shall see.
The funny thing I saw, Riggy, was the funny thing I saw was before it was like, oh, Sonny's trash. Oh,
not me, my friend.
No, not anyone on here.
You sound like Ryan Isaacs.
You know that whole narrative about
Ryan Isaacs.
He's crap, he's this, he's that. And then yesterday I saw loads of comments about, if only Sonny was there, we would have won that game.
Listen, I don't know, Ryan. I don't know how you can say that, man. By the way, Ryan,
I think he's trying to
know. We haven't got a better forward in. Who's the better forward in our squad right now than Son? That's the Ryan.
No one, it's man. Not he's trying to bait me. This is just our fan base. It's like the guy Stella was talking about at the beginning of the show, right? It's Sonny will score 2 braces. Ryan will DM me, like to me personally, and be like, "Man, I was wrong. Son's great." Then the next game he doesn't score. He's like, "Son, shit." Like it doesn't matter what happens.
Yeah, but that's the critique, isn't it? You're only as good as your last game. There you go. He's laughing. He knows. He knows. He's like, you're only as good as your last game. So it's fine. Listen, I can live with somebody playing really well, and then perhaps the next game plays really bad, and then go back and play well again. It's fine. It's not a problem.
Listen, Mario, I don't know what you said, but Cubed isn't having it. So I'll let you two sort that out separately. I don't know what you two said.
Oh, we can talk about it. No, I'm just saying it's not.
I want to move on from Conte, otherwise we'll end up.
I'm saying Conte had us fourth, but what Ange had to go through than what Conte had to go through is totally different. And I would say that if the scenarios were the same, like we would probably done even worse with Conte this season with the type of situations that
Murray Ange's got Van de Ven.
Yeah,
he's got Udogie, he's got Mathers.
That's just what I was. Well, I mean, kind of one example I was going to say was, even though Conte had Kane, he also had Dyer, right?
Dyer, Davis, Romero, Sessegnon on the left,
Sanchez,
and Matt Doherty. I want to say on the
right. Out for 9 months.
We had Lucas Moura, which I would gladly take back over Johnson. I know we're going to talk about Johnson. I think he's atrocious, but we'll get to that. So there is yes, the defense is better.
Johnson,
but the forward line not better.
Steven Bergwijn.
I'm going to be alone on this one. Go on.
Anyway, but did you guys see Ange's comments when he got in that tuffle on the sideline to the media?
No, go on. Tell us.
He got into a tuffle on the sideline. I don't know if it was against Burnley or if it was against Manchester United.
Yeah.
And the media asked him, I was like, you were sharing words or whatever on the sideline. He's like, because they were arguing, there's a picture of him yelling at somebody. He's like, no, I was just wishing him a happy new year and good tidings.
That was the game before Burnley. It
was him. It was against. Who was it against? It was the manager.
The way he handles the media is just absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, the
who thinks to say that, right? You know what I mean?
The Australian.
I was just exchanging presents, wishing him a happy new year.
Yeah.
Listen, Will, I want to bring Will in a minute, right? So, Will, we went down after 3 minutes, but we came back and scored. We then conceded again, but then start of the second half, we scored within a minute. What do you make of that alongside the stats of the game? So we had 2/3 possession, 63%. We had almost double the amount of shots. We had 6 on target, then we had 2. We had a far higher passing accuracy. Clear-cut chances was exactly the same. However, we had double the amount of corners. Overall, all our attacking stats were almost 50% better than Manchester United, with, some would argue, our B team, midfield and front three. So when you look at the stats, Will, and you look at how the game went, what did you make of it from a footballing perspective?
I mean, tactically and systematically, I think we were pretty good, right? We played Ange ball. It was just a matter of lacking quality for me. So do I think that based on how we played, the performances of those average players, did we deserve to win on the day? No, I think a draw is probably fair. But I'm disappointed because you sprinkle one player back in, just Kulusevski being there, we win that game easily.
Yeah.
Look, as far as the other players, I'm sure we'll get into the new signings as well. There were some things that I wish Ange would have done. I wish he would have brought in Drago a little bit earlier. Yeah, that's what I'm calling him now. Drago!
Into the dragon.
Why though? Why? Why, Will? Why?
Because have you watched any tape on Dragonson? So we had 13 corners in that game. And Pedro Porro's
it's very good in the air. I know he's very good in the air.
Delivery was absolutely fantastic that
on
day.
On the money. Yeah.
And Dragonson has averaged like 3 to 4 goals a season from headers. The guy's headers are absolutely fabulous. So when we needed a goal later, I wish instead of in the 80th minute, he brings them in like the 70th, 65th, 70th minute, and he just tells the guys, get as many corners as you can. Right, these 3 up front are Muppets; they can't score. Get as many corners as you can, and Drago, right, knock them out.
Yeah,
and then he says, if they die, he dies.
Yeah. I know. I saw him score in his last game for Genoa. He scored exactly from a header. It was a really high leap. Yeah, headed it downwards. I think against Inter Milan, which was double joy for me personally. But it was a really good goal. And I can see that point. I think he wasn't sure if both Van der Ven or Romero were going to make it to the end, and I think that's why he was holding him back a little bit. And then he was going to go with 3 at the back. He was going to go with 3 at the back, and then what's his name? Van der Ven went down because of cramps. I think he was going to end the game with 3, and I think maybe there was a chance. But in the end, I saw both teams kind of settling for the draw, and no one really went for it. It was almost like, you know what, let's just let this play out.
I just think it was too late. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. No, it's a valid point. No,
I want to talk about some players on the day. I want to get the good ones out of the way first. We'll begin with the positive. Lee, this man, how big of a player is he? We knew how good he was. We kind of forgot because he was injured, but
not me.
Bentancur, what did you make of him yesterday? He won man of the match.
Absolutely, and deserved it as well. He was fantastic. He run that midfield, and it was really, really good to see. I think he went all the way to 90 minutes, didn't he?
Yeah.
Which is another fantastic thing to see as well, because, you know, when you've got a depleted, this is one of the issues you have when you put out a team, a midfield like this. You've got to have someone in there that takes control of that midfield. Because if you're just 3 of you running around like headless chickens, it's never going to work. But he really, really bossed that midfield yesterday. So it's fantastic to see him back for 90 minutes. Great to see him get a goal as well. Fantastic goal. And I think if he hadn't have been up to speed or not fully fit or something like that yesterday, I think it might have been slightly different. But it's good that he's got a couple of 60, 70 minutes under his belt over the last couple of games, and it looks like he's getting up to speed a lot quicker than we thought. But yeah, fantastic performance yesterday. Well deserved man of the match.
Just so composed, with the ball at his feet. Like whenever it goes to Bentancur, barely I'm worrying, And we all said this last year before he got injured. He was looking to be our player of the year. It's just. Bentancur, I said at the beginning, once he gets healthy, he is in that starting midfield. He is. And so, despite we had Skip and Højbjerg playing yesterday, to know that Bentancur is in that midfield, he scored a beautiful goal, and great job by Wenger, not Wenger, Werner. I said Wenger, Werner.
What did you say?
Yeah, I said Wenger. I don't know why. Starts with
where did he come out from?
Yeah, Werner.
Big up to Arsene Wenger for the great work he's done with Bentancur.
Yeah, I think he's been listening to Wenger Boys again.
Yeah.
I think he's been spending a little much time online thinking about wingers and wieners.
Yeah,
wieners.
Wingers
and wieners.
And I will say this. For that goal that Bentancur scored, who started that counter? Christian Romero, who continues to get hate on, being rash, right? He started that counter, but people will forget that, right? People will forget that. But yeah, Bentancur definitely my man of the match.
He did have a moment though. Mari, I'll tell you now, he was good. He was good, but he did have a moment, where he sort of planted both his feet as a block. Just a split second later, and the player got there first. That would have been another one.
I think everyone, Lee went, ooh.
I certainly did.
Yeah. Now he's calmness personified, isn't he? Really, at the end of the day, isn't it? Like even right now, when he's not like full up to speed, like in terms of Bentancur, you still want to get him the ball, and you still want to see him on the ball. He just has that knack about him, doesn't he? That kind of air of calmness, and I'm going to take it. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that with the ball. He already knows what he's going to do with the ball before he gets it.
Yeah.
Another player that I thought had a really good game yesterday, Mari, Udogie.
Did he play?
Udogie.
I felt bad for Garnacho. I actually felt bad for
So another
Garnacho.
one that had a good game was Mari. I thought, did he play?
Oh, well, very
No,
good.
Over the
Very good.
head. Doesn't matter.
Forget
Forget about it.
Forget about
Do
it.
it.
Forget
Braid
about
your
it.
hair like that, Mari. Braid your hair like that.
Yeah. Murray's getting a doji. Murray, the hair's. I can see it. It's happening.
It's getting there.
Nothing like him.
It's getting there. This Garnacho. These are the keys, right? And this is your doji. Had him on lock. Had him on lock. Udogie had Garnacho on lock. Some people are trying to say, well, Garnacho was too bad. No. Udogie frustrated him all day. He had this one face where beautiful tackle by Udogie, and Garnacho got up and was like wincing, like, oh, yeah.
Murray, I was going to ask you real quick, and I can ask all of you that, guys. I read on social media some people, not just fans, but on social media, but also some of the YouTubers say they really love Udogie going forward. I think he's brilliant, like how he supports the attacks and he always gets himself in situations where always positive going forward and his work rate, stuff like that. But they're always a little bit nervous defensively, especially in and around our box. I don't feel that, guys. And I don't feel that. And I don't know where this has come from. Like, I was going to ask you guys.
Because of the red
if you
card he
feel-
got against Chelsea. Like,
Yeah,
they
but
just
does he defensively worry you in and around the
No.
box? I think he's solid, man.
Reguilon,
where's this nervousness?
He's got
Reguilon and
pace.
Sessegnon worried me defensively.
He's got pace, and he gets back and he covers, right? Because if you look at it, and like typical example for me would be, you see Porro go forward, you see Udogie go forward. You see more attacks come down Porro's side that get through than you do on Udogie side.
Yeah, but that
right? But he's big, and he's back there, and he recovers.
I think Werner helped out a little bit more than Johnson did defensively.
Yeah. I think Udogie is one of those players that he doesn't make really that many defensive mistakes, but when he does, it's noticeable because he doesn't make that many mistakes. So you sort of notice it a bit more because you expect him to be brilliant.
Well, I mean, the two back passes that cost us a goal and almost cost us a goal were pretty bad. So
I agree. Yeah.
What about that lovely header, Riggy?
Yeah,
he
one
meant
there,
that off the post.
Yeah, he got his bearings all wrong there. He could see the player there.
He got away with that one, I tell you.
The one I felt that him and Dragusin right at the end with McTominay, I nearly had. I
left him.
I was like, oh my god, I thought we were going to lose this. As soon as that ball got played, and I saw.
Yeah, but to be fair as well, we were unlucky. Romero smashed one off the crossbar.
He's got to score that. He's got to score that.
I mean, it
for
was a
his
bit of
standard.
50-50. Another player who I thought
Udogie was brilliant, by the way. I thought again.
Still, just before you go on, one point about Udogie, which I've noticed, is that when we are pushing forward, you'll see him take up that position between like the winger and the striker. You see him just fit in there in that little gap, but we do not get the ball to him enough. That's one thing that I would say we've passed it out too much to the wing. I'd much rather see that ball going to his feet, so that the wing can overlap him and he can push it through, or the striker can make a running push it through. You could see him getting frustrated and not getting the ball yesterday in that position,
he does that way more than Porro does, doesn't he?
Yeah, a hell of a lot more. Yeah, but we just don't utilise.
Porro goes on the outside more, doesn't he?
Yeah, Porro's more like he's more of a playmaker than Udogie attacks the spaces. And Porro tends to be more in the build-up play.
Porro's a more traditional wing back. Udogie's a more kind of modern wing back. He's a bit more inverted, a bit more progressive.
Like a driver, isn't he? Drives through.
Yeah,
he runs a lot. Also, he makes a lot of runs without the ball, and it's not. And it's a really good feature of his. Like, he's not just effective on the ball, but off the ball, he does contribute a lot. or even by just taking players away, or just having someone a defender, an opponent defender can be distracted with his movement, even if it doesn't like Lee was saying, gets the ball. It's still like someone else you have to worry about attacking your area. So, listen, I'm excited with both fullbacks. To be honest with you,
I want to talk about him. JP Porro, he had a good game again. Some people say he was arguably one of our most creative players on the day. What did you make of Pedro Porro?
I noticed it yesterday that corners are absolutely virtually spot on the money in places that he puts those corners. It made me laugh. I saw Ericsson, and like me and Cameron just sat there and went, first man, yep, bang, hit the first man. Porro corner, straight into the penalty spot. And he just kept doing it. He's tireless. He does a hell of a lot of running. He has got a decent shot on him. And looking at his corners the other day, I was just like, from that guy who came, it was kind of on loan, right? Like he came to us on loan for a little while. He got attacked by the Spurs.
It was a loan with a obligation to buy. So it's a purchase, but we're just not paying the money yet.
He had to go off social media and stuff like that. From that Porro to now, you can just see him. He's grown so much. He feels like he's part of that now, doesn't he? He's part of the Spurs family now. You see him geeing the crowd up. I absolutely love him.
JP, there was always something about him. Even last year, he joined at a time where we was in complete and utter disarray, and fans were getting on his back for no reason. How can you get on someone's back who's just arrived right now in a team that was completely in disarray? He showed glimpses. Maybe he wasn't as consistent as he is now, but then he's in a better setup now. The context is a lot better for him to shine. But he showed it even last season. There was glimpses of him where we
last
thought
half of the second,
he's
the last
really
half,
good.
Yeah, the last half of the second half of the season, he was when Conte left and the other guys were there. Pedro Porro was actually getting better and better, while the rest of the team was getting worse and worse and worse.
Yeah.
It was the first couple of games when he came in the winter transfer window where he struggled a little bit. I mean, who doesn't? Even Kulusevski took about 3 or 4 weeks before he got going. Bentancur came in and did just, boom, right away. It was just hit the ground running. Kulusevski, if you remember, took about a month before he started getting assists and doing the things that he did. Look, I'm just not having any more what do you call that? Blasphemy from our fan base for the Lily Trinity, the Pero, the Son, and the Holy Romero. I'm not having it anymore.
Do you know what's interesting about Porro? Do you remember young Charlie that used to do the shows with us?
Yes.
When we were talking about we need an upgrade on the wingback situation, it's no good. Charlie actually did a little scouting research
after when Sporting came over to play us.
Before we played Sporting, Charlie said,
I remember this,
we should sign Pedro Porro. He's a really good player. And I said, who's that, Charlie? He goes, he plays for Sporting Lisbon. We then played Sporting Lisbon. We lost to them, and he tore us a new one down the wing. And Charlie goes, that's the guy. And I thought, Charlie actually called it a year before we signed him. You know that. Fair play to him. And also Will Stewart and Sava. I remember last month they had an argument on stream about Will was trying to say Porro's a better right back than someone else. I can't listen. I sat back and I thought, I don't know about this, Will, but you know,
I was arguing, never.
There was some sense in it when you look back at it now.
Well, I said it last season when people were trashing on him last season. I never did. I said he's going to come good. This guy will come good. This guy.
I've always been 50-50
as well, Will.
Yeah.
I said it's too early to judge him under a bad team, and I defended him at the start of the season because the narrative on the first 2 games was that he doesn't know what defenders are behind him. They're right in that snapshot of those 2 games, but I mean, look at his progression since then. It's just been up, right?
Yeah, best right back in the league this season, by far.
Is he better than Trent? Is he better than Trent
this season? Yeah, he's been better than Trent this season. Absolutely.
In terms of attacking or both?
Both. Trent Alexander-Arnold doesn't defend well.
Trent's been good this year as well, though, man.
He's been good.
Liverpool
But
He's,
he's not
like,
as
he's
good as
also played
Porro.
in midfield, though, isn't he? A bit more.
He's contributed, but Trent hasn't really just been playing right back. You're right. He's been playing centre mid and
I mean, one question I want to
been a
ask
better
you,
right back.
kind of like all of you guys, really, is with Porro,
Trent.
a lot of the attacks from oppositions do come down his side, right? Is it just the fact that the winger or whoever else is playing on that side is not tracking back enough to give him cover? Go, Lee.
I was just about to come on to this, right? So Porro still has his critics about his defending, okay? But I've started to notice a bit of a trend. I don't know if there's any stats to back this up or we can look this up, but I've always said Porro's defending, where he gets called out, always seems to depend on who he's got in front of him. Now, when he's got someone like Kulu, who knows an absolute workhorse for 90 minutes, he's just up and down for 90 minutes. Porro don't seem to be as exposed. Whereas Johnson, and this is, I took particular attention to Johnson in yesterday's game, right? And I think I messaged you boys in the game and said, Johnson looks like he's trotting around the pitch.
Yeah.
He's at some point he's making absolutely no effort to get back. Romero had to keep going over to cover Porro, and those two between them did a fantastic job. I think Man United had like 2 touches in our box in the second half, which goes to show you how much we were closing them down before they could even get there. But I just kept seeing Johnson just literally like he was jogging back, and he had no intention of getting back to help Porro. And I think that's where his critic comes from, and the comments come from, is dependent on who he has in front of him and who he's got backing him up, right? Because but to be fair, he did a great job yesterday. He really did it. And when he's got Romero on that right hand side, I think it looks a lot more solid.
Because it always seems to be that diagonal ball over that way.
You're always going to get that with a high line and diagonal ball, especially with someone like Rashford is quick. You're going to get that.
Not only that, what people are missing out is he doesn't play like a traditional fullback plays in a straight back 4. He kind of tucks into the midfield and plays as a midfielder. So the reason why that space is there is
leaving that space open.
The space is left open intentionally. That's what Postecoglou wants them to play the ball. He doesn't want it to come down the middle. He wants it to come into the channels, and he wants them to have to run back and cover.
Yeah,
sometimes he doesn't make it in time, but that's the system.
Yeah, that's the system, and that's why I think like the teams they pick more Porro because he's less physical than the Doji.
It's so boring now. No more blasphemy on the Holy Trinity.
And I think that was my only thing, like Maz, in terms of it happens more on Porro's side than it does on the Dogi side, who does exactly the same thing, you know.
This is why people need to get off Kulu's back a bit. When you look at work rate and distance covered, Kulusevski was in the top 3 players in the Premier League, right?
Coverage.
His work rate is phenomenal. So you know, a lot of times when fans get upset, why isn't he taking Kulu off? Kulu isn't having a good game. Because even if we're in the 95th minute, Kulu is still running his socks off. He's got an unbelievable engine on him for a guy that's quite stocky. And he does drop back and help cover the wing backs. And I think
he does.
I think as a team, we're better when Kulu's in the 10. But for Porro, we're better when Kulu's out wide. There's a bit of a conundrum.
Still,
I don't think. Sorry, Iggy, to cut you up. I don't think that Kulu's. He had a good couple of games as a 10, and he's better than what we currently got as a number 10. We haven't seen enough of Lascelles, full stop, on anything really. But I would rather Kulu on that far right position, to be honest with you, than number 10.
No, I don't ever want to see him play winger again. I want us to buy actual wingers. Have Brennan Johnson and Werner, or whatever his name is, Wiener. I want him to I want them to be squad players. Because I'm sorry, as much as I think Timo Werner is not a very good footballer, he's far better than Brian Hill, right? So that's an upgrade as a squad player.
Oh, no, he's not. He's not, Will, because I had the coach tell me that.
No. In fact, do you know what? We're about to come on to the front 3, but there's one more player that I thought had a good game. I'm not surprised. I know most of you are. Maz, what of Skip? What did you think of Skip's performance yesterday?
I think that he was I don't think he had a brilliant game. I just think he was
Come
better
on,
than
man.
Højbjerg.
That one
That's
ball
what I'm
where
saying.
the
Hold
one ball that he's hit on a half volley,
Yeah.
I'm
on
gonna
the
back you
left hand
up.
side was the only contribution of the whole game, man.
I'm going to back you
Don't
up.
tell me he had a wicked
The
game.
pundits on Sky Sports all said it as well.
I'm going to say still
They all need
that
a new
he
prescription.
had a good game in the sense that he was his work rate in terms of push block. Get the words coming out of my mouth now. The pressure from the front, he seemed to be playing that more of that number 10 role, and he was certainly trying to, close all those guys down when the ball was at the back. I'll give him that. He was all over the front of that park trying to close things down, where Richarlison was trying to do a bit as well, but his work rate at the front was very good. I don't think there was a lot of output from him.
Sorry, you mean when Skip was a bit further up the pitch?
Yes, yeah, well, like you said, yeah, a bit further up.
Yeah, pressing.
Yeah, pressing. Sorry.
He wasn't playing when the way you're interpreting that. He was playing. He was playing number 10.
Just walk right into that, Lee.
He's trying to make
Walk right into that.
He was pressing in the
Could've
number
told you it
10
was
area,
coming.
meaning that he played like a number 10. He's pressing. He's pressing further up the pitch. It doesn't mean he's like.
No, but his pressing rate higher up the pitch was much better. It's much better than usual.
Listen, I'm not going to get carried away with it. I think there's a player there. Is he a worldie? No, he's not. But I think he is a player that's.
I don't mind Skip. I think he's a good player, but I think he'd be. I'd have him in the squad still. I've never ever I like his honesty. No, it's not. No, still. All jokes aside, I think Skip is exactly what it says on the tin, man. He's a hard-working player, honest player. He would run through a wall for you. I don't have a problem with any of that stuff. Is he that player that we like? Come on, man! Like we need more than that.
Okay, so if we ever need to tear down the stadium, then we can call Skip in and he can run through the walls. But other than that, I don't want to see the guy in a Spurs shirt.
In a squad, would you have a problem with him staying in the squad?
In the squad. Sell him. He needs to go.
No, wow, completely. Right, you want him out.
Conor Gallagher is a better footballer than Oliver Skip.
Do you know what's funny, right? I get so much abuse for shitting on certain young players.
You never.
When I consistently defend
Skip
this
is not young anymore still. He's like 23, 24 years old.
I've been defending him since he was young, right?
But he's not young anymore. He's grown up.
He's
grown now and he sucks.
He's one of our own, man. He's a good player. I think you lot
one of our.
Look at you lot. He went to Old Trafford. He put in a good performance. And you lot
what good performance?
Name one good thing he did.
Yeah, look, I think we need to approach this.
He played the ball of the game.
That was a bad boy ball. I'll give you that.
That was a first time hit, wasn't it? That was a good ball.
I'll give you that.
If you're going to pick one moment in the game, then Emerson Royale is like the bollocks.
That's blasphemy there. You can't use Skip and Ginola in the same sentence.
If Ginola did that, we'd be all right.
Don't go there.
Don't do that still.
Let me go on to a player now, right? The controversy is going to begin now. I'm
fighting tooth and nail on this.
Good luck.
I'm about to unleash that player that we're talking about.
I'm fighting you all.
There's a few.
Before you bring up the player, I think that when we bring up these players, we need to bring it on the context as to who they're replacing in the squad.
Yes,
absolutely.
And how long they've been there.
Yes,
because if we do that and we actually use logic, Estelle will just not say anything and he'll just accept.
Yes, remind him of that.
That's it. All right, Estelle?
Listen, if you don't want to have low standards, I have no issue with that. But don't attack me because I've got high standards.
Man defends Skip and he wants to talk to me about low standards.
Exactly.
Hypocrisy, man. The hypocrisy is unreal.
It's got high standards, but Oliver Skip had a good performance.
So on the one hand, you say
he's been here since 10 years old. Werner's been here 2 minutes. 2 minutes.
On the one hand, you say I don't mind having Skip in the squad, and then you want to educate me about standards. You're hypocrisy, man.
No.
2 minutes, 1 assist.
You should be having
2 minutes, 1 assist.
I'm in the number 10. Blah blah. Shut up.
You can't have the cheesecake.
He's been in the squad since he was 10 years old. And then you're slamming Timo Werner online. He's been at the club for 2 minutes.
He's shit.
2 minutes he's been here, and you're slamming him.
I don't care. I've got Muppets, donkeys on the internet saying to me, "Oh, but he was good at Leipzig." Okay, Dele Alli was good 4 years ago. Let's get the band back together. Let's bring Dele Alli back because he was good 4 years ago.
There was people that wanted Dele Alli back.
Before well, they need their heads examined. The team of WERNER massive. They'll need their head. Look, before we go there, the player I want to start with is this guy, right? I'm not convinced. I'm sure you guys love him now. Pigeon Man. Now,
hey, my boy's got 6 out of 6 goals. Leave him alone.
Right,
you can't criticize him right now.
I know you like tapping merchants like Filippo Inzaghi, so this is up your street.
Do not cuss Filippo Inzaghi. Don't you?
No. Listen,
because I knew you was going to bring Inzaghi up. I knew it, and I've already got my
tapping merchant. He's listen. Let me just paint a picture, and you lot can debate. Right? For me, it's simple. When I look at Pigeon, right, Gabby Abonglahor said he can't control the ball. He's not strong enough to hold up the ball. He's not good enough with link-up play. He can't run in behind because he's not quick enough. He can't finish. Right? He goes on and on. I fully agree.
And Gabby Abonglahor should know because he was like that.
Yeah, he was just as bad, right? When you compare Saka to Richarlison, this is what I find interesting. Goals-wise, Richie's better, but Saka's more of a winger. I think Richie's our striker at the moment. Assists, Saka's better. Shots, about the same. On target, about the same. But here's the bit for me why I don't like him. Successful passes, Saka shits all over Richie. And for me...
Why is there a comparison between the two?
I want to show you why, Iggy. Because when I look at Ange Ball, there's 2 things I think are so fundamental. And this is why Romero's so good for us. Calmness on the ball and technical ability when controlling and passing. I think they're fundamentals for Ange Ball. When I watch Richie, I'm sorry. He's got none of that. If you want to put a cross in the box and he jumps up,
wait, who's
6
saying
yards
Richie's
out,
good?
4
Though?
yards out.
Before we have the argument why Richie's bad, who's saying he's good first?
80% of his time's on the floor.
Go on the Tottenham Way Twitter page and take your pick.
I don't go on Tottenham Way Twitter. That's your deal.
That's away from us. I'm like, that is
record.
You, mate. That is you.
Tottenham Way Twitter is
we need to make something really clear. Tottenham
Go in the comment section.
His views, not mine. His.
Go on the comment section.
Richarlison, for the system of Ange Postecoglou, for the way they wants to play, I'm in agreement. He's not Ange. He's not suited. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. But I'm not gonna have. When he's shit, he gets cussed. He doesn't score. He doesn't bring nothing else. He's scoring now, okay, which is the only contributing factor that he can give to this team. He can't bring us skills, taking on players, shooting left foot, right foot. He ain't gonna give us any of those things that you want. He hasn't got Harry Kane in him.
So he's on the pitch for corners. That's what we're saying.
No. He's on the pitch to score goals. That's all I'm judging him on. Because
headers from corners and tapping.
Who cares? Who cares if he scores me a 30-yarder or he hits off his ass and goes?
This is the mentality that I'm worried about.
Right, stop right there, because I've got a step. Filippo Inzaghi is the 7th highest scorer in Italy. Listen, with 313 goals scored in official matches, he is currently the 6th highest goal scorer in European club competition with 70 goals, behind only Cristiano Ronaldo, Messi, Lewandowski, Raul, and Karim Benzema. That is the Inzaghi that you're slating right now. Was he pretty to watch? Was he pretty to watch? No, he wasn't pretty to watch. But he was just some goals, man.
AC Milan didn't play Ange Ball, though.
I don't know why we're talking about this anyway. Like I said, because
if you're telling me
patch, that's it.
Okay, but we can't. Will, all I'm trying to say is it's a purple patch. Maybe so. Yes, I agree. But we can't slam him when he's scoring goals.
I'm not
because this guy's got no chance, man. If we're going to slam him when he's doing well,
there's no reason to dog him.
Let me ask you a question.
That's all I'm saying, man. That's what I'm saying.
A good patch. Enjoy it.
Let me ask you guys a question. Let me ask you a question, right?
We got no one else. We got Scarlett behind him. That's it. That's it.
That's the fault of the club for signing these players. Right?
Now we're getting somewhere. Yeah,
but it doesn't mean because the club's bought badly, I have to accept. Look, let me ask you this question.
No one didn't have to accept anything.
Ange didn't buy Richarlison. It's not his fault.
No, but he kept him. Do Tottenham Hotspur?
What was he supposed to do?
Get rid of him like he did with Ndombele.
We got rid of Kane, man. We got rid of Kane.
Who's going to take Richarlison?
No, he never got rid of Kane.
Literally
Kane
have
wanted
no
that.
one then.
No, Kane bailed out. He wanted out.
saying-
Whatever the reason
Kane
was,
wanted
he's
out.
gone.
That's different, yeah.
We can't if we can't get rid of Kane and Richarlison
Who's
in
going
the
to play
same
backup
window.
striker?
Let me ask you this question, yeah?
I think Son will be playing number 9 when he comes back. By the way,
Let me ask you this question, right?
I
Do
hope so.
Spurs win a league title with Richarlison?
no.
chance,
But
no.
I'm saying to you that Son will
So how
fill in
can we
that
just
spot.
hold
Hold on. Look,
So how can we
You're
defend
Not
it?
defending it. No, but still, we're not
I'm
defending
not defending it,
hold
man.
on.
I'm telling you.
Let me clarify something here real quick, okay? Cleaning out a squad takes time for every manager. We can't sign 22 new players in one window. It's not possible.
Unless
right?
you're Nottingham Forest.
We signed more players this summer than we have in a long time. We signed 7 people this summer, right? And we signed 2. That's 9 players in a short amount of time. You can't replace everybody. As long as we continue to replace, I'm fine with it. Now, if Richarlison ends up having an Eric Dyer type of a career where he's here for 10 years, then you can cuss the board. But you got to give him more than 1.5 windows. You got to.
And this is my being for the benefit of the chat. Us a lot have been arguing in our chat, haven't we, for the last quite a while on certain players. But this is my thing: is when you look at who he's bringing in and who they're going to replace, then you can't be unhappy with Johnson and Werner because they're better than Brian Gill and Richarlison. I'd rather have Werner than Richarlison. Personally, they're both rubbish, but I'd still rather have Werner than Richarlison because at least Werner can run and control the ball and pass.
I think it's also about that squad management, though, isn't it? Because at the end of the day, having Richie there, it was more important to get centre backs.
Exactly.
And more important to focus on those areas as opposed to focus 100%. On replacing Richie. It was more important for us to get a playmaker, which is the way we went and got Maddison, than replacing Richie. Would you agree with that, Stel, or not?
Say that again, JP. Sorry.
The priority was to replace the center backs and the midfielders before we replaced the forward. Do you agree with that priority?
No, I don't agree because I think the one weakness we've got in this squad is we lack goals.
So you'd rather have replaced Richarlison than sign Maddison?
Well, you're talking back in the summer.
Yeah. So
no, you're right.
Season,
because we had Son, and we signed Veliz as well.
So replacing him wasn't imperative at the start. Our concentration really was centre backs and someone to be creative in the middle.
And I think this January now we needed a goal scorer. Like I was on the panel show on TV and had an argument with Simon on their live show saying, I think we need a goal scorer. We need to bring in goals. There's no goals in this team. And yesterday and against Burnley, I've been proven right. Yeah. Against Burnley, we needed a 40-yard wonder strike from Porro. Yesterday, a set piece corner, and thank God for Bentancur, the only decent player of the levels required.
I don't think Ange sees it like that. I think he sees the players he's bringing in, one, to fix the certain immediate problems that he's faced with at this moment.
But Ange's talking about winning the league this year. He goes win the league title race.
But two, I think he's looking at the overall squad depth as a team. And he said it many times. You can at least all the players have bought in. They're all working their asses off for the team because they want to be part of this team. So he's bringing in players that's going to improve the whole team rather than just saying, okay, well, I need a top class striker. Go and get me a Harry Kane replacement. He'd rather uplift the team than just get one individual in. That's
I just feel for Spurs to go to the next level, right? We've got to start bringing in quality in that attacking area. Otherwise we'll never close the gap. When I see Richie and in fact, look, let's get on to the others. By the way, super chat, I totally forgot. Let me do it now. Sorry, Ryan Isaacs. Let me speak to the super chat because he did it. One second, Maury. Ryan Isaacs,
it's perfectly timed, by the way, the super chat, because it's exactly what we're talking about. That's why we waited a little bit.
Yeah, I was waiting for the front three show. When we talk about the front three at Spurs. Ryan Isaac says Solomon or Johnson, Solomon or Werner, Solomon or Gill. who would you take, Stel? Who's better on a football basis? For me, Steven Bergwijn. What about you? I think Steven Bergwijn's better than all of them.
Yeah, but he is better than all of them. But he's been gone for over a year, man.
Yeah.
He wanted to go,
and he wanted to go. He wanted.
Yeah, because
to
he
go.
never got game time.
Yeah, I know, but what can he do? That's
Now.
But
But that was a different manager, though,
Look, if
wasn't it?
Steven Bergwijn was here, he'd be playing right now. I guarantee you, he would get time
100%.
under Postecoglou, 100%. He's not
He'd
here
probably
now,
score a
though.
few
Never
goals
had the
now.
option.
He'll be playing on that right hand
It's
side.
just a mismatch of recruiting, isn't it? Wrong manager, wrong player. We've always done that.
Sometimes you got a club and it don't happen for you. It don't happen for you because something's not right. The
We
manager
haven't
doesn't
answered
suit
the
you.
question though, so let's answer the actual question. Jordan Stevens in the comments, right? We haven't actually answered the question. So
Yeah,
who would you rather have?
Bring it up. Bring it up. Who would I have?
Yeah, not Bergwijn. Still,
Right, Solomon or Johnson? I'd pick Solomon.
Solomon or
you
Werner?
guys?
No, it's Solomon or it's a pairing. Who would you rather have in the pairing? Solomon or Johnson, Solomon or Werner, or Solomon and Gill?
I would go with Solomon and Gill.
Yeah, you're out of your mind.
No.
I'll go to the bathroom after that.
No.
Yeah, that's
Gill
it.
spends more time on the floor than bloody Richarlison.
No, that's Richarlison. No,
he spends more time on the floor than Richarlison.
Right, Brian Gill is technically better than all of those players, bar Solomon.
No.
Well, maybe.
I want technical football players that can play handball.
Not seen it. When did you see him be technically better, Still?
I thought he came on against Brighton and actually helped us rally the last 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah, but is he? But what? And that performance made you think he's technically better than?
No. I've always looked at him and thought he's got technical ability. The issue with him is he's very weak. He's flimsy. He hasn't got strength. And he doesn't get any kind of consistency in game time. Do I think Brian Hill's the answer? No, I think he's average as well.
None of these players have got goals in them. None of them
are good enough for Spurs. See, this is my argument.
To answer the question right now, because they're fit and they're playing, I will still go with. I will go with Johnson and Werner because they're right here, right now. But Solomon hasn't played since the beginning of the season. I think he's an impact player at best. Hill, how many managers has he been how many managers has he been involved under? None of them seem to take a liking to him. Not one has said, "Do you know what, Brian's my guy."
See, the problem
really
we've
much
got.
To go on.
Listen,
but there's still
Iggy, the problem we've got at this football club is no one has got the balls to speak up on players that shouldn't be at this club, right? Last word on Spurs will sugarcoat niceness over everything, and they'll say stupid things like Brennan's going to come good. There is no evidence to suggest that, and there's no logic to back it up. I hear stupidity like, oh, he's young. It takes time. Adogi's young. Van der Ven's young. Paquet's young.
We have to also accept that not. We have to also accept that not every player.
Oh, but don't you remember when Heung-min Son, when he came to Spurs?
Yeah, but
Heung-min Son, Heung-min Son, before he came to Spurs, had a much better record than Brennan Johnson, and one of the best strikers. One of the best strikers in the game. Ruud van Nistelrooy said, "This is a class talent, right?" Brennan Johnson's got no
can we not accept that not every single player that signs for any club, not just Tottenham, is not going to hit the ground running?
It's £50 million.
But that's not his fault. He didn't put a price on himself.
Not least because for a whole month and a half, right?
Every player that we sign or any team sign is going to hit the ground running.
Let me have my.
What's happening to Chelsea?
Let me spend £50 million. Forget Chelsea. They're all over the shop.
For a whole month and a half, right? I have gotten criticism about Johnson and my views of Kulu on the wing, right? And I've said it, and I know some of you agree. I know Will agrees on what we should do on the wing. But I was named president of the Haters Club for Johnson. I have been watching football on my dad's knee since 1985. And I could tell you, and I don't need any more evidence, that Brennan Johnson is not that guy. If we want to go have future ambition, future aspirations of winning the league, winning trophies, Johnson is not that guy. He is he is wet behind the ears. Watching the game, literally, he was, for me, the far worst player on that field.
I'm not disagreeing with that. I'm not disagreeing with that. I'm just saying.
The excuses is he's young. I was getting this. I was getting this a couple weeks ago. Oh, you gotta give him time. Oh, he's young. I'm like, no, it's not. Give him time. He's not that good. We need to be harsh.
Maybe so. No. Maybe so. Maybe so. But there was a clear for us to purchase Johnson. They would have had to have identified that perhaps maybe he wasn't the player that is going to be ready to here and now. They would have had to have been. They would have had to. Yeah, but he didn't set the price tag. He doesn't set the price tag. No player sets the price tag.
Where I disagree with this,
how many streams?
The club. I'm talking about. I'm not talking about
how many streams have I said?
Of course, no player sets his own price. Oh, okay, I'm worth 60.
No, of course not. But I've said that we've required different wingers. I've said in the past many a times, I would love the wingers that perhaps Crystal Palace have. I would love the wingers that Brighton have. I'm saying that the guy, any player that signs for a club requires an element of time, man. Then, if he's not ready, if we know from now that he's not ready, obviously Postecoglou wants to work with him a little bit longer. He may in 3 or 4 months' time he may still not be ready, and that's fine. But I think that
that is
hold on. I'm not saying it's fine on you guys for a second. I'm not saying it's fine for him.
You
to
literally
be
said
shit.
it's fine.
Hold on. There needs to be some truth bombs dropped here for a second. How many GA did Richarlison, who cost us 65 million, have in his first entire season at Tottenham in the league? Anybody know?
I've got no idea about any of the stats. So.
Yeah, like 2, like a goal and an assist, a goal, maybe 2 assists. Brendan Johnson's got 5 already. He's got 4 assists and 1 goal. Right now.
But I've already told you Richie's shit.
Right, but what I'm saying is he's better than Richarlison, right? In his first 3 months for the club. Look, this is the thing.
He's good enough?
We need assists, right? We need assists. He's not good enough. But as a squad player is concerned, he's already got more G&A than what's his name? The guy from Brazil. Why am I dropping? I can't remember things. I'm getting old. No. That played for us.
Brazilian for us.
Yeah, scored against the Ajax. What's his freaking Mora? I can't remember his name.
Oh,
in his last full season.
Yeah, but look, you can't just go in on a player after 3 months and say he's
Mate,
rubbish.
I find that astonishing. He might turn out to be shit.
Right?
Listen, he may be shit in 6 months' time, and I'm not saying it's fine for him to be shit. But that's what I'm saying.
Wait 6 months.
No, but you have to give him more than 3 months. Though is what I'm trying to get at.
He's not the answer. We need to sign. Hold on, we need to sign. Hold on. He can take on a player. He has taken on a player. He gets in behind all the time.
Take on a man?
In games?
Are we judging him on yesterday's performance? Or
I'm judging him all season.
What do you mean? Look. Listen, as long as he's not the answer long term. We need to sign 2 actual wingers, right? If Son's going to play striker, we need to sign 2 actual wingers.
Arafel was 18 when we signed him. What is this rubbish?
But they are improvements. He is an improvement in performances over Lucas Moura. He is an improvement. Yes. Timo Werner is an improvement on Brian Hill.
We keep throwing price tags at players.
Yeah, but we're going from a 3 out of 10 to a 4 out of 10.
Yeah, but that's how you build a team. Yeah,
no,
that's how
you've got to go through 7 or 8
out
of
10.
No. 7
we're gonna get
there,
though. We will get there. We're not there yet, man.
You sell Brian Hill. Look,
we've got a
Timo Werner is not
a title race. We've got fans wanting to win the FA Cup. And we're saying
sell.
And you're telling me this is all okay.
No, hang on a minute. When we went to get Udogie, did we know we was going to get this Udogie? When we went and got Vicario, did we know we was going to get this Vicario? Van der Ven. What did we know what we was going to get?
These are unknown. We knew who Brendan Johnson was. He's got Premier League experience. This guy's a dud.
Yeah, but is it not possible that he made
homegrown players?
Is it not possible?
Jed Spence.
We
don't know what we're doing with British.
First of all, we cannot get a team. We cannot get exactly. We cannot get a team full of foreigners. We have to have.
Wait, no, Iggy, hold on. This has got to be said. He was a dud at Forest last season. Is that what you just said?
For us, he's
8 goals and 3 assists he had last season. I would kill to have 8 goals and 3 assists in this team right now.
But you can't say in 3 months
But this is what Sessegnon did. When the pressure's off, Sessegnon was half decent at Fulham. He comes to the big league. He
never had 8 goals.
Dude, Sessegnon was one of their players of the season. Are you crazy? At Fulham.
But the guys
Sessegnon was fire.
How many goals did Sessegnon have at Fulham?
Will, go look at the stats. Sessegnon was fire at Fulham. Do you know why? Because it's no pressure. This is a top 6 club. When you come to a top 6 club, you step up or go home. Brennan needs to go home. He's not the deal.
Already 3 months. That's it. Done. So when there's a jump up, like you say, you go from Nottingham Forest to Tottenham. There's a jump there, right? Mm-hmm. Is it not possibly
Fulham, hold on, because things have been said here that aren't true. At Fulham, Ryan Sessegnon had 2 goals and 6 assists at Fulham in his sphere. He was flying. Brendan Johnson almost already has that in 3 months.
Will the year before
18-19. That's the year before I'm looking at.
4 assists, right? And we're already writing him off under 3 months.
No, all I'm saying that when you make a jump,
let's keep Brennan.
No, still. I'm not saying
3 points against Man United. Along with,
if you said to me right now,
if you said creativity, their lack of goals cost us against Man United. We could have won that game.
If you said to me, still, if you say to me right now, we can get Olise, would you have him in the team on the right wing? Absolutely. 100%. There's no 2 ways about it. Yeah, but that's a no-brainer for me. That's absolutely.
We didn't buy him though. We bought Brennan.
But what I'm trying to get at, who's to say that I'm not saying he's not talented enough to make it, but who's not to say that he would not find the difficulties of the jump up in the club? There's a lot of players that have got the talent and everything else. I'm not saying Brennan Johnson is that player. I'm saying there's a lot of players that when they make the transition from one club and they step up to another club where the demand and the pressures are different, there's going to be some players will hit the ground running and say, you know what, I belong at this stage. Other players may require a little bit more time and work. And of course, I think he's low on confidence.
I don't know what comment you made, Cubed. I don't actually look at the chat.
Brendan Johnson right now.
Just quickly go for some super chats.
Massively low on confidence.
Very, very quickly, right? We should trade Rodon and Skip for Somerville, Baller. Thank you for the super chat. Euroch Speaks. He also says Brendan Johnson is crap. Kudos was cheaper. A lot of people are talking about Kudos, to be honest with you. Even Arsenal fans wish they bought Kudos over Kai Havertz. Della Spurs says, beg your pardon. Do you think NF selling Johnson? What's NF?
Nottingham Forest.
Do you think Nottingham Forest selling Johnson is linked with their FFP problems just released? Probably.
It is because
is TOT going to buy cheap like he wants due to FFP scares?
Yeah, they were saying on Sky Sports earlier that the fact that if they sold him for, I think Brentford were after him for 35 mil. If they sold him to Brentford at the start of the window, that would have been in their financial year and they would have been all right. But they hung on and waited to get the extra money from Spurs, and it was to start the new financial year.
There's your answer then, Della Spurs.
Fuck themselves, really.
Look, for me, right, everyone's allowed their opinion. I've got no issues with it, right? I put this all on Twitter. Listen to me. I came under insane abuse. When I mean abuse, I mean abuse. I've been called a paedophile, a kiddie fiddler. I've had people talking about my dead mother. All sorts of nasty shit online, yeah? All because I said Timo's a bum and I don't rate Brendan Johnson. He's a waste of money. So I've blocked everyone. It don't faze me. It don't faze me. I block them all. But the point is, you're not allowed to speak on players at Tottenham unless it's constantly positive. I've praised Dragusin. I think that's an excellent signing for Tottenham. I can't praise Bentancur enough. I've said Van de Ven, Romero. What a partnership we've got. I've had to eat my words on Vicario. But I'm not having it. For me, I think Brendan Johnson's rubbish. And I think Timo Werner, we haven't even gone to
bad about
what we're saying. But still, I believe what we're saying.
You're not allowed to criticize players, right?
No,
you are allowed to.
No. What we're saying is right. Is we're not saying that
I'm
you can't
talking about you
criticize
guys, by the way.
them.
I'm talking in general. Our fan base. They can't handle it.
Yeah.
They can't.
Yeah, but a lot of people are idiots online, unfortunately. Just a lot of people are idiots in general.
Even have a YouTube channel.
This shows that happy climbers. if you talk bad about Johnson, Brian Hill, Emerson Royale, you're gonna get the heat. There's not only Twitter. There's some shows on YouTube. There's a lot of Spurs YouTube shows, and if you even talk bad about Brian Hill, if you went and talk about Brian Hill, people will be cursing you out.
I've been doing it for 2 years. What are you talking about?
I
cussed him before we even signed him.
I know that, but the others, I mean, a whole thread, this whole thread got shut down.
I was proven right
because of Brian Hill. A whole thread.
Let me ask you a question, guys. Let me ask you a question, right? If tomorrow we could sell Brennan Johnson for £40 million and use that money to buy another attacking winger, would you do it? Yes or no?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, we need to buy wingers in the summertime. Absolutely.
But Will, that's not my question. My question is, if you could sell Brennan Johnson tomorrow for 40 million and use that money to buy another attacking winger for Spurs, would you do it?
Well, I don't know. It's a hypothetical. Who would we buy?
Yeah, who would we buy?
Who's 40 million?
That's the problem. There isn't anybody who's 40 million.
How much is Gift Orban?
Gift Orban's not a winger, and he's actually not playing well this season.
But he plays across the front three, no?
Possibly, yeah.
Okay, how much do we spend on Brennan? 50 million, right? 50 million on another winger. We can't get a better winger than Brennan for 50 million.
I agree with you,
we don't have to wait 2 years that we hope he comes good.
But isn't Postecoglou's point about wanting speed down the lines? And Brennan gives you speed down the lines, right?
Yeah, but there's got to be an outcome with that speed. Otherwise, you're just Usain Bolt. You're just Usain Bolt.
He's got an outcome though. He's got 4 assists and 1 goal so far.
Dude, man, come on.
Yeah, but you're talking like he's Richarlison's first season where he had 1 fucking goal.
Or he's Ryan Sessegnon's best season in the Premier League where he had 2 goals and 6 assists. Or he's Lo Celso where he can't play more than 10 minutes without getting injured.
Listen, we are playing the best football we've seen in 4 years. I expect all our players to be doing better in this system because they're not held back. So we can't.
No, you know what else? You know what else could be doing better? We've got 300 plus people in the chat or watching, and only 135 likes. Come on, man.
Yeah,
it's not even that expensive.
You freeloading bunch of.
Come on, man. This is tight stuff. Smash that like, guys. Come on.
I don't know, man. Aston Villa seem to find these players. It's not an issue out wide. Liverpool seem to find these attacking wide players. It's not a problem.
I agree, man. The scouting should be a lot better. We definitely need better wing. Of course,
only in the attacking phase, Iggy. Everywhere else, we seem to be all right with our recruitment. This attacking phase.
But it's interesting.
I don't understand what we're doing.
How long ago did we?
Ange has said consistently that that's one area that does need addressing, right? He has said it a few times.
JP, do you remember he played Son at front at number 9, and then all of a sudden he switched with Richarlison and played Son on the wing. What's the reason for that? Because he's identified. He knows he's made us exactly because of the quality that he has, which is why would he move him out from the forward line to the left hand side? Because the quality was lacking, and so he's aware that we don't have that quality. He's brought Werner in because he realizes that he's better. Even Werner is better than what we currently have.
He brought Werner in because he's free.
Yeah,
that's the club, not him. The club.
By the way, sorry, Ash Queer. I never said I'm okay with Hill. I would replace Hill tomorrow. I just think he's better than Timo. I don't think he's okay.
How?
I disagree with that, man.
In what universe is any aspect of Brian Hill's game better than Timo Werner?
Timo Werner gets the ball, no pressure, lots of space. Look where the ball is. Then he smashes someone in Rosehead.
Brian Hill
does worse.
I don't think Brian Hill kicks it that hard.
Inside the box this time. Look where it is. It's in outer space on the way to Man City Stadium.
And how's Brian Hill better?
Plays it wide. Runs down the wing, gets into shooting position, smashes it 5 meters yard.
No, you're not gonna like this.
Timo Werner is a bum.
Okay, hold on for a second. Hold on. That is one aspect of his. Hold on, Stel. You're not being genuine here, right? That's one aspect of the game. He's a horrible finisher.
One good cross into the box in a dangerous place.
One of the worst finishers I've ever seen. I'll give you that. Right?
So why is he here?
Hold on. Transitional play, pressing, passing, taking on men.
Will,
Hold
we
on.
signed an attacking
No.
player who can't score. Are you
Okay.
kidding me? Are
All
you
he has to
kidding
do,
me?
I don't care if he scores a single goal for Tottenham the entire time
I
he's here.
do.
All
I
he
do. We
has
need
to do is
goals.
play. Hold on. Listen to what I'm saying first. All he needs to do is play those cutback passes that Brian Hill and Brendan Johnson and Kulusevski can't play,
Anyone can
and
do
find
that, Will.
Son Heung-min.
Anyone
No,
can
they
do that.
can't
Academy
because they're
kids
not
can do
doing
that.
it, Stelios.
Exactly, Will. Exactly.
Who's not doing it?
Kulusevski, Brendan
no.
Johnson, Brian Hill. None of them
You told
do
me
it.
Brendan Johnson. You
they're
told me
not
Brendan
doing
Johnson. You told me Brendan
It's-
Johnson got 5 assists.
It's no.
He's doing
Four.
that.
I watched the game yesterday.
Yeah, from those cutback
Anyone
passes.
can do that. He
Yeah,
made a
I watched the
5-yard
game yesterday.
He made a 5-yard pass to Bentancur, who then used his skill to beat a player, opened up his body, put it on his right foot.
Beat a
smashed
player.
it
He's
top
just
in.
a shot.
All,
What are you talking
all
about?
the hard work Bentancur did. Anyone could have made that
What are you
team.
talking
No,
about?
no,
It was a
no,
cutback
no,
pass
no,
before
no,
a
no,
shot. He didn't beat any
Timo,
players.
let me see something.
Timo got an assist.
Watching the game yesterday, the first thing I said was what Will just said. When Sonny gets back, he is going to be smiling because Timo is the best attacking on our team with the ball at his feet. At all those times that they put it out there to him, his touch is beyond better than Johnson, Hill.
Agreed.
Like coming down the
100%,
flank.
Murray.
Down the flank.
100%.
I kept saying that my whole time. I'm like, man, I haven't seen this all year.
I know
Like,
that the pass. Did you see
Timo
the pass?
Werner, apart from his
Imagine-
finishing, is a
Can you
much better
imagine?
player
That's
than
his
all of
finishing.
those
That's
players.
great.
The
But
pass that he
this
made
guy
from the
will
flank.
get assists.
He
will
didn't
get
put
assists.
one good
He will-
cross in the whole
he
game I
will-
watched. I counted not
he
one
will-
cross.
He
What are you
will
talking
get
about?
assists.
Hold on. There was
to
that ball
Sonny.
from the flank into Richarlison that was a beautiful pass in the first 5 minutes of the game. He completely curls it right into Richarlison, who had a guy on his back straight to his feet, and then Richarlison fluffed it, jacked it up.
No, he didn't.
Yes, he did.
Well, for me,
Watch the
Timo
game
Werner,
back. First 5 minutes.
Timo Werner was rubbish at Chelsea. He's fourth choice at Leipzig. If he was so good, they wouldn't let him come to us.
He was a rubbish finisher at Chelsea. He wasn't
He
rubbish.
He wasn't
at Chelsea.
rubbish at Chelsea. He was a rubbish finisher.
You know,
Rubbish
like
finisher.
still, I had a conversation with
Dude,
Shine
I,
about
do you know,
this.
all
Because one of the
I heard
things
all
I
these
said to
excuses.
Shine, right?
Oh, Timo
No,
got
no.
stifled because he played under Tuchel. Harry Kane's
No, I'm
doing all
not
that.
giving him any
Nobody said that.
excuses. I'm just
Yeah.
saying
Harry Kane,
he
no,
was
I'm
a
telling you
good
what the
player.
excuses
But
are online.
Everyone said
he can't finish. But
everyone
he's
said that that's a
assists.
farmer's
Nobody
market,
mentioned
right?
He's
Timo
going
Werner's
to
name.
assist
In,
the Sun-
when we were talking about transfers, nobody mentioned Timo's name. As soon as we signed him, oh, good bit of business, low risk. He cost us the game yesterday. Those 3 chances I showed you.
Oh man,
Oh,
alive!
come on, man.
Come
Cost us the
on,
game.
No,
Fucking cost us the game.
All those chances he missed, if that was Son, Kulu, or anyone half decent, one of those goes in the back of the net, we win 3-2. But no.
He hasn't played another 2 months, and he's played the first game straight
I mean,
into the
hold on.
team away at Old Trafford, and
I
you're
got it.
gonna.
All right,
Hold on,
let's wait,
hold
let's
on,
wait
hold
for him
on,
as well.
hold on.
Let's wait for another
Look.
one. Let's give him time, another one. All right.
Look,
I-
this
I
is what I'm
think
talking
that-
about. I talked
I-
about this. Hold on. Let me talk to you for a second. I've talked about this on other channels, and this is something that football fans do that really annoys me. They project single instances across 90 minutes and across the whole seasons. Timo Werner had 6 goals and 8 assists in his first season at Chelsea. When was the last time we had a wide player that put up those numbers? Besides
Son.
Son Heung-min?
Yeah.
Name one other in the last 5 years who has put up 6 goals and 8 assists in a single season.
Has Kulu got that much
Nope.
yet?
Yeah, I was going to say,
Nope.
what did Kulu get?
Nope. Kulu had like 5 assists and 2 goals in
Yeah.
his first season.
We haven't, man.
We
But,
haven't.
yeah.
This is what I'm saying. Timo Werner where did he get the majority? 4 of those 6 goals and 6 of those 8 assists came when he played on the left-hand wing in the first half of that first season when Christian Pulisic was injured. Fact. 80%
this is what I mean.
of that
This is what I mean
output
about
came from
personal
him
attack.
playing on the left.
Don't tell me I'm chatting shit. You're talking shit. Talk to me about football. Don't get personal. This is what I
He's
mean
not
about the
getting
abuse.
personal. He's not getting
Still, you're
personal.
talking shit.
He doesn't
What-
mean it
what I will
aggressively, still.
say-
He's
He's
not
just
saying
saying
your shit. He's mean you're chatting shit.
I know what he
I
said.
talk
but
shit
he's
all the
chatting
time.
shit. He's chatting shit. These are
You
the
said
same
Timo
bums.
Werner was bad at Chelsea.
He was bad at Chelsea. That's
How?
why they got rid of him.
He was a bad
No.
finisher. They needed a striker.
They need.
Will, we need finishers at Spurs. We need people.
when was
we
the
need
last
people
time-
who can find Son Heung-min.
Last time Chelsea found a finisher was Drogba.
What happens if Son gets injured then, Will? What happens if Son gets injured?
We need to buy a striker.
Thank you. So why
Timo
we?
Werner's
why
not a
we-
striker.
But
He
he's a
will
winger,
not play
man. We bought him as
striker
a
the
winger.
entire time. He will never
Exactly.
play the 9
been
position
my
for
point.
Tottenham
But
Hotspur.
Will,
You can't
Will,
play
he has
in a front
played
three.
striker
You
in the
can't
past, hasn't
play.
he?
Yeah.
How can
He
you
won't
play
for
in a
this
front
club.
three? How can you play in a front three and not score goals? And you're meant to be
He
good
scores
as
goals.
a front three player.
Hold on. He scores
We
goals.
just said he can't score shit.
He's a bad finisher, but he scores goals.
I think your opinion stinks, mate. If you're going to defend Timo Werner, or
Look,
based on what?
you're
Not
thinking
you,
about this the wrong way. If you're
No,
expecting him to
no,
come in and
still.
score 20 goals a season, then yeah, he's a dog trash player. If you
Still,
think he's going to come in here and get 8 assists in a season, he could do it.
Still, you gotta look at the whole picture. What I'm saying is,
I am.
we
Did you see
understand.
them yesterday, Marty? We need goals.
Yesterday he wasn't that bad because in
Yes, he
comparison,
was.
As long as he doesn't shoot, he's a good
as long as
footballer.
he doesn't shoot, he's good on the ball.
Listen to
No,
this.
he was good on
Sign
the ball.
forward player as long as he doesn't shoot.
That's
We signed the forward player.
But he's good
as
on
long as
the
he doesn't
ball.
shoot.
What I'm trying to say is,
Oh
when
my
Stan
God,
comes
what
back,
are you on?
no, but I'm
This
trying
is,
to
this
say,
is where I will
Sign
agree
the
with
defender.
Phil. Right?
Sign the
I'm
defender.
gonna agree
As
with
long as he
Phil.
doesn't tackle.
so
As
listen,
long as the defender doesn't tackle.
so listen. All I'm saying is that on our team, he's best when with that ball. He has technical ability. I saw that yesterday. That when he's on the ball, I'm like, damn. If Kane and Son is there, they're happy with him being the winger. Now shooting, yes, I 100% agree. He could have scored in the Playboy matching full of naked women. He can't score. I get that. But when it comes to passing, this guy is good on. For me, yesterday I was watching like, man,
He's
the
big,
ball.
he's physical, he's strong, he's everything Brian Hill
He's good on
isn't.
the ball.
He's
Because
finished.
one player's shit and we sign another shit player that's slightly less shit
No.
doesn't mean it's okay to bring in more shit.
Yeah, it's better shit. Look, if you're gonna have shit, I'd rather have better shit than bad shit.
But no, I don't want any shit, Will.
Okay,
No
but
shit.
look,
No, we ain't
if the
gonna
only
get the
option is
players
shit
that
and
you're
shit, I
requiring.
would rather
Yeah,
have
you
dry
would
shit
maybe
that doesn't smell anymore than I do fresh one that stinks real bad.
Listen,
Right?
let me ask you this. Let's get real.
wingers
Let's
that
get
you're
real.
after, the wingers that you're after that you want and we want. Let's have it right here.
They
We
don't
all
have to
want
be
those
amazing.
players. I don't think. Yeah, but we're not gonna get them now. We're not gonna get that now. We're not
Yes,
gonna get
we
them now.
are. Iggy,
We ain't gonna get them
hold
now,
on a
man.
minute. Hold on a minute. Let's get real, right? Let's get
We're
real.
not gonna go. We're not gonna go
Let's
and get
get
them.
real.
Who's gonna part? You're talking about this is
That
this.
is the loser mentality.
No.
rather than nothing.
Stop.
That is
Let
the
me finish.
loser mentality.
At least let me finish. There's only two types of players you're gonna get in January. Two. One that isn't playing for his club regularly and is looking for another team to play regular football with. Or two, you're gonna pay over the odds and gonna take them out of their team because you've made them an
release
offer you
clause.
can refuse. Or you've hit the release cost. We did it with
Or they got
Dragonson. We went
6
to
months left
Genoa.
on their contract. Or
Yeah,
something.
we went to Genoa and we said, we want your player. And they said, look, 25 million, 30 million, and he's yours. We've gone, here you go, mate. We've taken a player off them. A player that they needed, and they're going to struggle now without him and his team. And then you got these players like Werner or players alike who are not playing regular football and they want to go to another club and they work out a deal best way possible for them to get out and come and play for you. Those are the two types. Now, we don't want a gaps, is what we call in Werner, a gap, but we're not going to pay over the odds. Now, are you going to go to Crystal Palace and say, yeah, we want Elise or we want
7
players
million.
of alike?
Go to
Whoever
West
you
Ham
want.
and be like, we're going to give you £30 for Jared Bowen. You think they're going to say anything?
We want 50 million. Here you go. Give me your player.
How much
We're not
did we
going to
pay
do
for
that.
Kulusevski 2 Januaries ago?
35.
Yeah, but that's because of
Kulusevski was a
Paratici's
player who
link to
wasn't
Juve.
playing. Hold on. Hold on
wasn't
for a
in the
second.
He wasn't
Stallions.
playing.
He was not
No,
playing
was
for Juventus. He was dead wood for them.
He was, yeah.
Good scout.
And Benton
And
Cole.
Bentancur, they got rid of. Bentancur, they sold because Bentancur, they sold Bentancur not because they wanted to get rid of him. It's because they needed money to then go and get the player they wanted, Vlahovic. So they had to sell. They didn't want to sell Bentancur.
Well done to
we went and gave them the money for Bentancur. So what I'm trying to say is we need to go out there and
Don't
spend.
tell me these players don't exist. These are the excuses.
Of course
I hear
they
every
exist.
season.
No,
We have to go and spend that money. We have to say to Crystal Palace or
What winger
teams
is available
alike,
right now?
here's your money.
If Ange Postecoglou was given,
Who would you want, by the way? Who would you want right now on the wings? Who would you go and get right now on the wing?
I would have taken. I'm not privy to know.
I'm asking you your preferences here. Who would you
I
have
would
gone
have
and
taken
got?
Jimenez from Feyenoord. I would have taken Gift Orban. I would have taken Rafinha from Barcelona.
Money, right? How much do these players
Jimenez,
cost?
striker. Orban, striker. We're talking wingers.
No, they can play out wide. In a
No. They don't play out wide. They're strikers.
Okay,
we need wingers.
Rafinha played out wide. didn't he,
Rafinha's
for Wolves?
winger.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll bring in a striker and move Richie out left.
Timo Werner's just as good out left as Richarlison is. I'm sorry.
No chance.
Absolutely,
Richarlison can
same
score
chance.
goals from corners.
No, he can't.
Timo can't.
Yeah, but we saw
Richarlison
that.
Timo
can
Werner,
score from
Timo Werner can score from me. He doesn't have a bad
Fucking
header.
hell, you prefer
We saw
Richarlison
that
to
still
Timo
with
Werner
Son
now?
in the middle.
Oh, come on,
Like,
man.
Richarlison
100%.
like,
Werner
Gil
on the left
Werner,
had
Werner
more.
is
Hold on.
worse than
Actually, if
Richarlison.
it was
Hold on,
for
hold on,
Johnny
hold on.
Evans, he wouldn't score that
Richarlison
header.
had more missed sitters. At least Timo Werner's, playing like, Odegaard and skying it over the bar from
You
30
literally
yards
said
out.
10 minutes ago. Werner
Richarlison
can't,
was
as long as he doesn't
skying it
shoot.
over the bar from 8 yards out.
So
You
we
just said
didn't
as long
want
as
we
the
didn't want
difference-
Anthony Gordon at Spurs last season when Conte wanted to bring him. We was going, no,
This
get
season.
Anthony Gordon.
I never said
Don't
that.
get Anthony Gordon.
That's the fans
Don't
were
get
saying
Anthony
that.
Gordon.
Listen, the point I'm trying to
did.
make is this, right? The point I'm trying to make is this. I'm sick to death of hearing, rebuild project. We are 23 years into
We haven't
a three-year
signed Werner,
project.
by the way. We
Right?
haven't signed him.
It doesn't matter. He's here. He gets game time. He costs us, right? We are 23 years into a 3-year project. Spurs are in an opportunity where we might be able to win the FA Cup this year. And you know what? I stick to what I say. We are dark horses for the league. I don't think we're going to win it. I've always said that. But you know what? Give it a fucking go when the opportunity presents itself. You signed Dragusin. Excellent. That is an upward lift compared to Dyer, Davies, Royale at centre-back. No doubt. Go and bring in the equivalent across the front three. But no. Instead of spending 40 million pounds and identifying a quality player, that's why you have a scouting team. You've got Lange, Paratici, McKenzie, Scott Munn. You go and bring in this bum on a free because he's free, and now we think he's the answer. He offers us nothing, man.
We didn't sign him
He
on a
doesn't
free.
score goals. We need goals in this team.
We didn't
It's a
sign him on
loan
a free.
with an option to buy.
We've gone
but the
from
thing
we've
is,
gone from Harry Kane FC to Heung-min Son FC. Truth.
We were always
What?
Heung-min Son FC. I don't know what people
Yeah,
are
well, we were Kane and Son. Now we're
so
just
is
done.
that a bad thing?
Yes, because we're dependent on one player to carry us for goals. Since Son's gone on tour against Burnley, we couldn't score for Toffee. Yesterday,
But we're not.
We
but
do need
one in
goals. We do
January,
need goals.
You're
We do
not
need
going to
goals.
buy.
It's not undeniable
our
we need
striker in
goals.
January, right?
Iggy, that's my
And
point.
two,
If we need goals, why have you
we
signed
do-
the
we do need
forward
goals.
that you lot are telling me as long as he doesn't shoot?
can't
It's
score.
No.
madness.
Because
don't
we
have a
don't need him
problem.
in the system. We don't need him to shoot. I'm serious. Go look at any of this. Go look at Celtic.
I think we
None
need a
of his
striker, man.
none
We
of
don't
his
need a winger.
wingers.
We need a
Hold on.
striker.
None of his wingers had many goals at Celtic. None of them. They all had lots of assists. Jota didn't score a lot of goals at Celtic, but he had like 13 assists. Why? Because the way he plays, the winger's job is to get to the byline and play the cutback pass. And there's nobody better at finishing that cutback pass than Heung-min Son. That's who. There's not many other strikers in world football who could finish that cutback pass as well as Heung-min Son can.
So
We don't need a striker. We need wingers.
We've signed a player that can cut back a pass to strikers that can't score. Amazing.
Yeah. Until Son comes back. Son's not
It's
gone forever.
Exactly my point.
He'll be back in a couple of
We are
weeks.
now, so we're Son
But you're-
FC. Without
But
Son, we're shit.
Werner's a winger. If you're telling me we need a striker, I say, yeah, we need a striker.
Iggy,
Right now, we need
goals.
someone to score
Midfielders
goals.
should score. Wingers should score.
James
If we're
Madison
going
was
to
scoring.
criticize, yeah,
We are,
Madison.
Madders scores, Kulu
Kulusevski scores
scores.
from midfield.
Lo Celso just began to score
Exactly.
again.
Celso scored
Kulusevski
2 goals
scored,
already.
which is why he should start over Timo and Brennan. Wrong or right?
Benny will
I
score.
think we will end up playing
Who?
with.
Benny.
If we,
Would you start Kulusevski over
Bentancur.
Timo Werner
Not
and
on the
I
wing.
think, I think
Not on
when
the wing, no.
everybody's
Not on the wing, no.
He
honestly,
just told me he scores goals.
From midfield. All
I
of his
think
I
think
Will,
our
I'm
front
gonna be
goals
three.
come from midfield.
I don't get your aversion to Kulu on the right. Yeah, he
I don't
hasn't
get it
been
either.
as good as what he was in the first.
I think our front three
He
will
didn't
be
score
just
goals his
that.
first season here either
I
in the
think
6
Werner,
months.
Son, and Kulu are going to be our front
Scored
three
2.
with Wenderson behind.
So all
I think when
assists.
everybody's available, those are going to be our three forwards. It's going to be Werner, Son, Kulu, Maddison, and the 10. That's
Done.
it.
Lee's been quiet for 15 minutes. I've probably scared the hell out of him. Lee, what's your take on this? Like, what's your honest take on Timo and Brennan Johnson?
All right, let me start with Brennan Johnson, right? I think I said to you that I don't, watching him yesterday, I don't think his work rate was anywhere up to speed.
Yeah, no
I
justification for
think
that.
I think when he first came in, it is, you're right, it's a big step up from Forest up to Tottenham in terms of the expectations, right? I get that. I think the first few games that he had with us, he showed flashes of it, small flashes of it, where he was using his speed and stuff like that. Maybe not, the end product wasn't good enough yet, but that was to come. Since he's had his injury and he's come back, I'm not seeing that willingness to use his speed or willingness to go past a player. That's what seems to be, that's what he's known for. I haven't seen any of that. I think I think this is a mental thing with him. I think he's holding himself back. It's almost like he's worried that he's going to get injured again and he's just not up to speed yet. I don't think we should write him. I don't think he's the long term. I really don't. I think he's a squad player and I don't think he's the long term. I think he's just taken a little bit of time to get back into his stride. I'm hoping, give him a couple more games, you might see a bit more of that, what he was sort of coming into, but he's not there yet. So for me, not long term, but it is what it is at the moment with him. With Timo, all I'm going to say is he's had 50 minutes, 60 minutes in the Spurs shirt, right? He's been brought in as a guy to do a job till the end of the season on the left, because it seems to be one of our biggest issues. Richie tried it. He hasn't really got it to do it on the left. We've had to put Son back there. And even Son he's still got this inability to just go round the place. He seems to hit a player and then just hit a brick wall and then just goes too close to him. We know we'd rather have Son up top. So he's been brought in as a low risk, you're going to hate me when I say low risk, low cost, 6-month term to put someone in there to do that winger's role, not a striker role, a winger role. Hold on. No, let me finish. He's had 60 minutes so far. He's had one training session. He's got to get used to a system. I'm the guy that sat there and when he was at Chelsea and watched Chelsea play, and when soon as the ball came to his feet in front of goal, I'd be like that. Yeah, that's fine. He ain't scoring. Every time. And I used to take the mickey out of him when he was up front. Now I'm like, do you know what? I'm going to give him a chance to show 60 minutes is not enough for me. We'll see how he gets on in a couple of games. If it turns out, then he is what he's like at Chelsea. He doesn't produce anything. He doesn't score goals, etc. And I agree with you, Stel, that our wingers should be contributing to goals as well in the situation that we are now, when we've only got Richie up front. If he can't do that over the next 4 or 5 games, then I'll go back to him and say, yeah, he is what he is. If he contributes 5, 6, 7 assists or 10 assists or something till the end of the season, I think we've done well out of that. But it's too early to tell with him. It really is. I can't judge him in Angie's system over what he played at Chelsea. So we'll see what happens.
All right, I want to hit on one thing you said, right? Because I've heard so many people say this. He's low risk. For me, if you cost us games, that is high risk, right? I did this poll. I just tell me what you guys think. I put this poll out on I did on Twitter and on YouTube. I said if Son and Kulu were starting instead of Werner and Brennan on the wings, so I specifically said on the wings, do Spurs beat Man United?
Yeah, I agree with that.
89% said yes. On the other poll, exact same question, 86% yes. So here's what
we have no choice. We have no Kulu. We have no Son. You can't make an outcome of something that can't happen.
But wait, let me finish. Let me finish. The point I'm making here is, if 90% of our fans agree that Kulu and Son start, we win that game, then Timo and Brennan regresses us. That's not how you build a squad. To build a squad, there shouldn't be a big drop-off.
Of course,
that's the whole point of a squad. No. If you turn to the bench and the players coming on can't impact or at least keep us at that level, they shouldn't be in the squad. So that poll proves to me that as soon as a couple of good players are out the attacking lineup, we are screwed, which means we're signing the wrong players to be on the bench.
But signing Timo doesn't mean that in the next 16 days of the window, someone else can't come in, right? We haven't spent the money. If something else pops up in 2 weeks that goes, right, that's a deal that we can't let go. He's out of the squad, blah, blah, blah. We can get him in. Bringing in Timo is not going to affect that because I know, yes, it's the wages, but we haven't got any initial fee on him. So we've still got 2 weeks of the window to get someone like that in. It might not be the case that's going to happen, but
No,
I don't understand the way we're speaking of Werner. Like his stats are awful. Like he's never won anything, and like he hasn't played for top 6,
Germany,
top 5, German top 4, top 5, top whatever clubs. He won the Champions League with Chelsea. He can't be that shit.
Eric Dyer's been at a top 4 club for 10 years.
Maz.
And he's going to win the Bundesliga and the Champions League this year.
Well,
and he's still shit. Right. Let's get real.
Maz, can I just ask one question?
That means nothing.
Like in terms of that playing.
Who's that bum that's been a centre back at Man U for 10 years? Who's that bum?
Who?
That absolute dog shit centre back that's won every trophy going.
Maguire?
No, worse than him. English player. I think they got rid of him last.
Or Evans?
No. What's his name? I think he's got blonde hair.
Luke Shaw.
No, he plays centre back. He's been at Man United, one of the biggest clubs in the world for 10 years. He's won everything there because he's just part of them, right? What's his name?
Oh, Phil. What's
Phil
his name?
Jones.
Phil Jones. Phil Jones.
Timo Werner is the Phil Jones of European football.
No, that's not true.
No, that's absolutely nonsense.
Shit player, gets good gigs. Everyone will say, "Oh, he won trophies."
But
Phil Jones
he
won
wasn't.
Champions League.
Werner wasn't being carried by Chelsea.
Phil Jones has got England cap. Phil Jones is must.
Werner wasn't being carried by Chelsea, and neither was he being carried by Leipzig. Yeah, he's got obviously in the more recent past. Right, he's got issues in front of goal, but he still creates. He's still got a good touch. He still can pass. He still can take on a man.
Maz, I had the same energy. I had the same energy for when Kai Havertz went to Arsenal. I cussed them all. No one listened to me. Now they regret signing him. Timo Werner is no difference. He's that same mold of shitness that seems to always get a good gig.
60 minutes.
At least we can ship him back then, if that's the case. We ship him back.
Yeah, but he's got to play for us and cost us points.
But I think that's.
I don't think he's the sole reason why we didn't win yesterday.
Brennan Johnson.
This is where people need to look.
If he scored that
Brennan
goal,
Johnson's costing us games as well.
If he scored one of those goals yesterday, if Timo Werner scored one of those chances yesterday, we would be taking 3 points, right?
I'm sorry, but look,
we could lose that on
hold
top
on.
But then again, if we don't concede at the other end.
JP's got history. There's memes, there's videos.
We could lose out on top 4 by 2 points, right?
Yeah, and like I said, hold on, listen to what I'm saying for a second. This is a guy who has scored 4 goals in the Champions League in his last year at Chelsea, was scoring every 61 minutes in the Champions League. Every 61 minutes he scored a goal in the Champions League. Yes,
but that
has
means nothing.
blunder moments. He's a blunder king.
I haven't scored.
That means nothing, Will.
And
why does that mean nothing?
They could have literally played 4 games in the Champions League with him.
Because when it suits us, but he did this for Chelsea. But when we cuss other players,
he played 5 games in the Champions League.
Yeah,
dude, a bum is a bum. Kai Havertz is a bum. Werner's a bum. Kai Havertz he came from by Leverkusen. Oh, he's amazing. He's brilliant. Went to Chelsea. They can't stand him there. Same as Werner. They can't stand him there. Now he's gone and got a gig at Arsenal, so-called title contenders. He's bumming out there.
But we can't compare ourselves to Chelsea, man.
My point is, just because a player plays for a big club doesn't justify.
Yeah, but that
doesn't
makes
mean
it worse.
We're not
Iggy,
Chelsea,
that makes
City,
it worse,
Man United level. We're not there, man. We're not there now.
Iggy, but that must make it worse because when he was at Chelsea, surely they were a better team and made more chances for him to score.
I agree, but Chelsea, listen, Chelsea have had a striker. We've always had forward issues. The last 2 forwards I remember top of my head that were decent were Drogba, decent, harsh. They're very good. Drogba and Diego Costa. After that, Lukaku, Havertz, they've had all of them. Higuain, they've had Falcao, whoever you want. They've always had this problem. Like world top strikers, Lukaku, they've had them all. Nothing. So what I'm trying to say is their expectations from their forwards are far higher. That Chelsea team I'm referring to, where Werner was, far higher than where we're at now. We're not there. Man
can I
United,
ask-
Man City, they have a pedigree of elite players in that team.
Iggy,
One-
we're
one
not
question
there
would be-
because we sign rubbish
because we
players
don't
in
want to be
attack.
there. Yeah.
That's why we're not
Yeah,
there.
but
Would be, what do you,
you know
what
what?
do you most remember Werner for?
Yeah, but do you know why we're talking like this?
We sold
Because
Harry
we're 4
Kane.
points
We
away from
sold
top.
Harry Kane.
If we were sitting
sold
6th or
Harry
7th
Kane.
in the league, we wouldn't be talking like this.
No,
We're talking like this because of where we are in the league right now. We actually, I think deep down, there's people here that think we're going to go and win the league. That's all it comes down to, man. We have to say that.
No.
Me, it's top
Fair
4.
enough.
Top
But
4 and try
Iggy-
and win the FA Cup.
Iggy, fair enough.
That's where I'm
Even
at.
if we want to get in that top 4, surely should we not be getting a player to cement that position?
Sorry,
Spend the money, man. We've got to spend the money.
Listen, at the end of the day, we sold Harry Kane for 100 million, right?
That was
Best
spent
striker-
before he went.
One of the best strike. I never said in fact spending. I'm talking about selling. We sold Harry Kane for 100 million pounds, right? That's the forward that went out. Look at the forwards we bring in: Solomon, Werner, Brennan, Veliz. Are we taking the piss? Are we literally taking the piss, man?
I agree. I agree on that point.
You go, Maz. We signed Van de Ven. Brilliant business by Levy. Top signing. Udogie, brilliant. Vicario, brilliant. Madison, brilliant. Pape Sarr, brilliant. The board, the owners have done so well.
Vicario turned out to be brilliant. We didn't say brilliant when we signed him.
Turned out.
Udogie's the same.
Yes.
That's all I'm trying to say. We took punts on a lot of these players, man.
Tebow's 27 years old. We know he's like, there's history. These other players haven't got history, right? They've come to us. My point is this. The board have done so freaking well, Porro as well, so freaking well to bring in these players to build up the team. We get to the final third. I've got fucking Solomon, Brennan, Timos. What is this? Why do we shit the bed when it comes to signing attackers? I don't get it.
Because Ange wants to improve the whole team and the squad rather than just get individual replacements for Kane, as an example. He would rather getting 3 or 4 other players to improve the squad and the team than just get one player just to replace Kane.
We need someone a bit more prolific, though. I will say that.
I agree with that.
But I'm not saying the wingers.
It's a calculated move because we've got Son, right, who can effectively replace Kane. So his calculation
potentially, though, Maz, we're not going to have him till. I was saying it earlier on. We're not going to have him till the 10th or 17th of Feb.
I'm not saying replace Kane with Kane. You're not listening, Liston. You always do this. You come in the chat, you just look to come for me. Start your own channel, but you won't have any followers. That's the difference. What I'm saying is this. How could you sell a superb talent, an excellent forward player, a creator and a goal scorer for 100 million, and the replacement, which is an array of players, is very average? At least 2 of them you've got to say, do you know what? Yes, man. I like these 2. I'm excited. I can't say that for Solomon. I can't say that for Brennan or Timo. Are you not excited by any of the
proven strikers in the Premier League? Are Ivan Toney. Those kind of players, they require money. You got to spend them.
Will, even you've got
Eze,
Even Dragonson is not exciting. Okay, so Dragonson, we don't even know. He's still a young guy too.
I'm talking about the attacking free will.
Yeah,
the wingers and the strikers.
We haven't signed anybody exciting, right? Obviously, there's no doubt about it. My point is that you are being overly harsh on Timo Werner.
Why? I've got high standards. I want to win the
high
league.
standards. What are you talking about?
There
The guy
you
was
go.
scoring 30.
There you go. You want to win the league, man?
Goals a season.
I never said this season.
Hold on.
I want to win the FA Cup. I want to win the FA Cup. I don't want top 4. I couldn't give a shit. I'm sick of top 4.
Who cares about top 4? I'm not talking about anything. I'm simply talking about the footballer in general.
Well, you don't rate the FA Cup, Will. Like, you've already dismissed it. Do you know what I mean? Like, we think differently on this.
I could care less about any cup, any competition in the league, whatever. I'm talking about the player as a player, right? That's what I'm talking about in this argument. I'm not talking about winning this, winning that, aspirations, none of that stuff, yada, 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 right? I'm talking about the player as an individual, okay? Even at Chelsea, right? In his worst moments, he was a better finisher than Richarlison. Fact. Can't argue it. The data's there. I'm looking at it right now. Goals per minute. Right? Better finisher than Richarlison.
6-7 goals this season.
What?
Richarlison scored 6-7 goals this season.
Timo Werner's played 60 minutes. What are you talking about?
I don't give a
Hasn't
shit.
even had the opportunity to score 6
How
or 7
many,
goals. How do you know that he
How
won?
many minutes did he play at Chelsea?
Not very many.
Well, how many?
He was scoring 3 goals. He was scoring every 0.3 minute. He was scoring 0.3 goals every 90 at Chelsea.
How many is Richarlison scoring every?
0.16 at Everton.
No. At Spurs. I don't give a shit about Everton. They're rubbish. They don't create nothing.
Neither did Chelsea when they were playing under Thomas Tuchel.
They won the Champions League. Are you nuts? They're a good team.
Playing what kind of football? Winning 1-0, Stel.
Will, you're telling me 20 minutes ago, this is the problem here. 20 minutes ago, you said to me, as long as Werner doesn't shoot. Then you're telling me he's better at scoring than Richie when Richie's scored 6 or 7 goals this season. That doesn't make any sense.
Timo Werner has to play the same number of minutes as Richarlison.
But you said he shouldn't shoot.
Richarlison shouldn't shoot either.
But he's scoring.
And Timo Werner will score as many goals as Richarlison. That's my point.
But you say don't shoot because he can't, Will.
At Leipzig, this season, he was scoring a goal every game.
You dug yourself a hole.
This season,
I'm
not dug myself a hole. You can't understand what I'm saying.
No, I do, but you contradicted yourself.
You don't. I'm not contradicting myself. Do you know what a contradiction is? Hold on. Do you know what a contradiction is? What?
Yes, and don't question my intelligence. That's insulting. Because
you're saying I'm contradicting myself. That's insulting.
Yes.
You have to know what a contradiction is before you can tell me I'm
contradicting
contradicting
myself.
myself.
No, I need to explain to you how you contradicted yourself.
So explain.
You said to me, as long as Werner doesn't shoot, meaning he's fucking awful at it. And then you're going to tell me he's better than Richarlison at shooting when Richie scored 6-7 goals this year. Where's the logic?
Right? I'll tell you the logic, okay? Over his career, he is a better shooter finisher than Richarlison. Fact. You can't judge him on the 6 goals Richarlison scored this season when he's played 60 minutes for us. A contradiction is A and not A at the same time and in the same sense. That's what a contradiction is.
Richarlison, Timo Werner's played in the attacking team.
He is a good shooter and he's not a good shooter. I never said
Everton and Watford. They're dog shit teams, man. Come on.
And that's relevant how?
I don't rate Richie. Well, attacking teams create more chances. I don't rate Richie. I think Richie's
Chelsea wasn't an attacking team when Timo Werner played for them.
They
were a counter-attack team.
Okay, that's a form of attack, no?
No, it's not. They were not an attacking team with possession in the Leipzig system. Hold on. When he played for Leipzig, the coach that coached at that time was who?
Nagelsmann.
What kind of football did they play?
Possession-based, attacking on the front foot.
Okay, and how many goals did he score at Leipzig those seasons?
I don't know.
Almost 30. Then he goes to Chelsea playing on a Thomas Tuchel when they were playing in a sit-back, 3 at the back system, sitting back, playing deep, and playing on a counter-attack, right? Like we did under Conte. How many goals did he score there?
8.
Less.
Hardly any at all.
Yeah, because one's a Farmers League, one's a real league. Harry Kane's already smashed the record in Germany, not even halfway through. Why? Because he's in a Farmers League.
No, look, man, it's a completely different. He's playing completely different. I can tell you.
The hardest league, dude. Harry Kane has smashed all the records.
The numbers are there.
There's no competition.
Stelio, stop for a second.
No, it's not.
120 shots.
So listen to me. To the Premier League, where you've got the best teams in Europe.
Stelios, 120 shots in his last year at Leipzig. 120. 45 in his last season at Chelsea. 45. That's the drop off in the amount of chances that he had. He scored 28 goals in his last season at Leipzig, and he scored 4 goals in his last season at Chelsea.
Will, I think they're both shit players. I don't rate Richie or Timo, but I'm not going to be told Timo, the player you said, as long as he doesn't shoot, is better than Richie at scoring.
Because he is. He is better than Richarlison at scoring.
So then why don't we let Timo shoot then?
Because he's still not good.
We've got to let someone shoot, guys. For fuck's sake.
Hold on a minute.
That was half the argument I was having before. We need someone to put the ball in the net, right?
This is what I'm saying. You can still be not. You can still listen. Stop. You can still be bad at something and better than someone else. Right? I can have a 4-inch willy and still have a small willy, but I'm bigger than 3-inch guys.
Will, you don't want Werner to shoot because he's crap at it. And surely you don't want.
Do I have a bigger willy if mine's 4 inches and yours is 3?
Will.
Yes or no? And the answer, please. Yes or no? No, I'm not deflecting. I'm explaining the point. Do I have a bigger willy than you if mine's 4 and yours
I
is 3
couldn't give
inches?
a shit how big your king dingling is. I don't care.
I'm not saying I
Doesn't
have a
bother me.
4-inch willy. It's an
I don't
analogy.
care.
Is
I
my
don't
willy
care.
bigger than yours if mine is 4 and
No,
yours is 3?
mine's massive. Mine's like that.
If yours is 3, is
Will.
mine bigger if it's 4?
Will, I don't care.
And
You're deflecting.
No, I'm not
Can I
deflecting.
inject?
You
I'm
are
talking
deflecting.
football. You're talking
Can I
about
inject?
penises.
It's an analogy, Stelios. If mine is 4 and yours is 3, who has the bigger willy?
You don't want Werner to shoot.
If 4
but
or
it's
3,
okay for
whose
Richie
willy
to
is
shoot,
bigger?
even though he's worse than Werner. at
Stelios, the
scoring.
fact that you won't answer this question right now shows that you are
I'm not answering
deflecting.
it because it's stupid, Will.
No,
I'm not
whose
gonna
willy's
talk about
bigger?
that.
4 inches or 3 inches?
Mine's bigger than yours. That's all I need to know.
That's great. Congratulations.
than yours.
Whose is bigger if it's 4 or 3 inches?
Mine's bigger. Mine's bigger. Mine's always
Congratulations.
Bigger.
Whose is bigger if mine's 4 and yours is 3?
Mine's 10.
Okay, I'm not asking you if yours is 10. See, now
I
you're
don't care.
deflecting.
Will, I don't care about this analogy. I'm not interested.
But you're saying I'm contradicting myself.
Yes, because you're saying you don't want Werner to shoot, but
Right.
he's better than Richie at shooting.
Yeah,
So then we should
exactly.
stop shooting then.
Historically,
I don't want Richie to shoot either. I don't want Richie to play.
Oh my God, man.
Historically, if you look at the careers of Timo Werner and Richarlison, most people will say that Timo Werner is a better scorer than Richarlison. The stats prove it. The proof is in the pudding. That's why Chelsea went after him. Right now, they're both are horrible when it comes to shooting, but as Will's trying to say that though they both were bad, historically Werner is better than Richarlison.
Way better. Not a little bit better. Way better.
At RB Leipzig, Werner was lights out. And when Chelsea got him, I said, Chelsea got themselves a good one. Then went to Chelsea to a like Frank Lampard. Does anybody here rate Frank Lampard as a manager? No. So he goes there, right? Probably lost his confidence.
Scored more under. Hold on. He scored more under Frank Lampard because Frank Lampard played more progressively. Then Tuchel comes in, plays more regressively. The shots dropped from 60 in the first season to 45. He had 45 shots. Okay. Harry Kane averaged 4 shots a game. He's got that in 10 games. Then his goals dropped from 6 to 4. What I'm saying is Richarlison per 90, goal per shot. Every time he takes a shot, he scores his goal 0.05 on average. That is 5% of his shots go in the back of the net. Timo Werner, in his worst season at Chelsea, shooting goals was 10%. That is 2 times better of a goal scorer than Richarlison in his worst season at Chelsea. I'm contradicting myself because you have an agenda.
I don't have an agenda.
You do.
You're comparing a player.
You won't answer the
for a
question
really good
honestly.
team.
Is Werner a better goal scorer than Richarlison? Yes or
You're
no?
comparing a player that played for a really good team against Richarlison that played for Everton in a relegation battle and Watford who got relegated. I'm sorry, I'm not having this chat. What you're doing is
doesn't matter. We're talking.
You compare.
Shots.
No, what is you're comparing apple and oranges.
No, I'm not.
The variables.
No,
Yes,
I'm
you
not.
are. This is the failure of statistics. Yes, it is. I've studied statistical modeling. Yes, it is.
No,
when you do, yes, it is. When you do statistical analysis, yes, it is. When you do a statistical analysis, when you do a statistical analysis and you compare stats, the underlying variables must be identical, but they're not.
What are the underlying numbers? We're talking about Stelios.
No, the variables.
Hold on. You're missing. There are no variables.
I'm not missing.
The shot when Richarlison takes his shot. The rest of the Stelios. When Richarlison takes his shot, the players that are around him and what they did earlier in the game is irrelevant. We're talking about from the time he strikes the ball with his own foot individually, the amount of the time that it hits the back of the net.
I need to see the pressure on the chance. I need to see the weather conditions of the chances.
The weather conditions. Okay. It was raining outside.
Variables, and that's one of many metrics. You're
getting ridiculous now on your agenda.
You want to compare Timo Werner in Germany and when he played for a brilliant Chelsea to Richarlison.
This is brilliant Chelsea. What are you talking about?
Let's talk about the relegation battling Everton. You can't compare 2 players. That's like saying let's compare Aguero at Man City to
why is Richarlison a better goal scorer than Werner then?
Preston North End. You can't do that, dude.
Explain to me why Richarlison's a better goal scorer than Werner then.
Dude, I think they're both shit, Will.
No. Why is Richarlison better? Is Richarlison a better goal scorer than Werner?
I would rather have Richarlison as my striker than Werner all day long, yes.
Okay, why?
Well, so far, Richarlison this year, as much as I hate him, he's a tapping merchant. I've already said it, Filippo Inzaghi Mark II, and he scores headers. Richarlison, Werner can't score at all. Dude, this guy can't even hit the target. He's awful. He showed it for me.
He scores more
against
often
Man
than
United.
Richarlison does. He hits the target more often than Richarlison does.
He had 4 chances. He missed all 4. He missed the target 4 times yesterday.
Richarlison's done that in one game easily. One game, 4 missed big
Right,
chances.
But still,
You're the one that said to me you don't want Werner shooting.
I don't.
But still, let's look at the whole picture.
So then you must not want Richarlison to shoot either.
Exactly. I don't want Richarlison to play.
Right. All right.
So our second top goal scorer, you don't want him to shoot.
But still,
Yeah, I don't want him to play.
Still, we can look
Our
at the
second top goal scorer, you don't want him to shoot.
I don't want him to play.
Someone
No, I'm
else.
asking you don't want our second top goal scorer to shoot.
All right.
Yes, I also don't want him to play. How many times do I have to answer the question before you move
The
on?
whole picture, right? The whole picture of Werner yesterday, right? And people had ups and downs. People say, okay, Romero was to blame for one of the goals, but then Romero was the main reason why we equalized, right? I mentioned that earlier, right? So, all right, yes, Werner's 4 shots, right, were way off. Though one of the shots he could have scored a header, but Johnny Evans does a great job deflecting it. Could have possibly been a goal, right? All I'm saying is that, and mind you, I don't rate Timo Werner as great. All I'm saying is that I try to look at the positives. He is very good in comparison to the other crap that we have at forwards, right? Minus Son, good on the ball. He's very. Look, I'm not finished yet. He's very good on the ball. That goal, he had to do a cutback, cut in, pass it to Bentancur, and Bentancur did the rest, right? That's the best I've seen in comparison to what Kulu was done on the wing, what I've seen Johnson and Hill and Solomon have done, right? And I'm looking at the positives. I'm like, man, he's technically gifted, right? Not scoring, right? But with everything else, assisting. So I'm thinking, because I thought this yesterday, when Sonny comes back, Sonny has someone who could get the ball to him at his feet. I can't say that with confidence with Johnson. I can't say that with confidence with Kulu. Well, Solomon had 2 assists to Sonny's feet, to his credit. That's all I saw with Werner. And so I'm trying to be fair here and look at the whole picture of like, okay, Timo Werner may be shit, but he's better shit than all the other shits that we have left. And
still shit, Murray. He's still shit. That's my point.
I understand. I want the club to do better. I understand. I totally get it. I understand. But I'm just saying, be fair. Yesterday, at least
I am.
Shit.
No, I don't know what more to say to you. Listen,
no, you're not being fair, and I'm going to tell you why. This season, Richarlison's shot on target percentage this season is 39%. 39% Richarlison's shot on target. Shot on target this season at this club with Tottenham Hotspur, 39%. In Timo Werner's worst season at Chelsea, it was 39.3. Better than Richarlison this season.
Okay.
Better than. And in every other season, Timo Werner over his career, shot on target percentage is 48%. Richarlison is 33.8%.
Then don't go on shows telling other fans as long as Timo doesn't shoot, you're okay with it then.
Why?
What was his percentage?
That's what you're saying. You're saying you don't want Timo to shoot. And then you're defending why he should be shooting.
I'm not.
Oh my God.
No, he said that because he wants him to assist to Sonny.
Exactly. I don't want him to shoot. I want him to play.
Murray,
how I want him to perform is not for the shooting.
But Murray, if he's a better scorer than Richarlison, why would you not want him to shoot then?
Because I want him to pass.
Semantics now with that statement.
Guys, was wrong, man. That's the contradiction.
That point is
it's
ridiculous.
not a contradiction, still, because he is a better shooter. If he has to shoot, if he's going to shoot, he's still a better shooter than Richarlison.
So then we should let him shoot.
You can't argue it. No, both of them suck at it. They should both not shoot. Richarlison should not play. It is an absolute dead fact. And the fact you're denying facts makes you a football flat earther. You have an agenda. There are no facts that back your position at all.
No.
Don't tell me I'm contradicting myself when you don't. Obviously, you demonstrated you don't know what the word contradiction means.
I've demonstrated that you said something you shouldn't have said, and I've called you out.
No, I've said it, and I'll say it again. Timo Werner should not shoot. We brought him in. His role here on this club should be to pass.
We signed a forward that shouldn't shoot.
Exactly. He should assist.
And that's my point then, isn't it? We've signed a bum.
Richarlison shouldn't shoot either. He should sit on the bench.
Our second top goal scorer shouldn't shoot. Listen to this. Oh,
shouldn't shoot.
He's going
Son
to
Heung-min should play number 9. Timo Werner can play it on the wing. He's better on the wing than Richarlison is.
Okay, Mari. So let's tell Richarlison to stop shooting now, so we can end the purple patch for him.
We have no other choice, right? So same thing with Werner. He has no other choice.
So when we've got a choice, he should shoot. When we don't have a choice, he shouldn't shoot. That's what he's saying.
But yeah, basically, he has no other choice. He has to shoot. Timo Werner has to shoot because both guys. There's no other option, especially with Sonny not there.
All right. So I go back to what I said. Let's not say things like, "I don't want Werner to shoot." Then
why? I don't.
Well, Mari, you can take over from here.
That would be ideal that we don't want both of them to shoot, but we know that they're going to get shots because
we've got two players in the front three that we don't want to shoot. Listen to how degenerate this conversation is.
Oh no, that's how bad our club is in regards to forward.
You think that Timo Werner's going to play as a striker?
When I started off saying our front three are dog shit and I'm going in, now we've gone full cycle.
Look, they are dog shit. Nobody said hold on. Nobody said the front three aren't dog shit. Nobody said that.
Dude, I said it. But I said they're crap.
Nobody said they're not dog shit.
Okay, so why are we not investing in quality players across the front three then?
That's not the question you asked me.
Will, that's where I started the conversation. I said,
No. That was not the question. The question was on the quality of Timo Werner versus Richarlison.
I said, no, I started off by saying we sold Harry Kane for £100 million. And as a replacement, an array of attackers, instead of Kane, we've signed Johnson, Werner, Solomon, and there was one other. How has that been allowed?
Nobody argued with you that. We all agree with you on that point.
Gents, let me put an alternative argument. Stel, I get what you're saying. The signings are not and they're not a signings of a club with ambition right now. Yeah, I get that. But I don't think you're going to see, and I think it's a smart move to not start just throwing money around in January for the actual players that you want, given some of the restrictions of the clubs in the summer who are going to offload players. I think the club's thinking, we'll do something now because we know who we really want, the type of player we want, but they're not going to be able to the summer, and we can snap them up because we've got the power to do so with other clubs having restrictions of being able to having to sell players and buy players. I get that. I know it doesn't show ambition now, but I still think January is the hardest window to actually find the players you want. So I get what you're saying, and I agree with what you're saying about bringing these people in.
That's the case.
It's not as easy as just going and get someone you want, though, in January. I
Forget
get
what
that.
I want.
I do
Forget
get
what
it.
I want. Spend more than zero. Werner was a freebie. The point,
yeah, but
I don't understand.
Listen. You come.
We've
You
got
give
a
me.
manager. We've got a manager.
You give me 5
We're
players.
in a title race, mate. We're in a title race, mate.
Yeah, I know. But you give me 5 players right now that are available in the next 2 weeks that could walk in over Timo Werner. There's probably a host of them that are actually not going to cost the earth because it's January, and B, actually want to leave their clubs, uproot their families in January when that can all be dealt with in the summer.
Just add as well.
Okay, go on.
No, come on. Because you're now saying that you know there are players out there.
To me, that's a safe answer. You played
It's not a safe answer. It's the answer. It isn't. I've said to you from day one, January.
To find a player who's prepared to move his family in January.
Of course.
What does it matter what month it is? If you're going to move, you're going to move, man.
Another point, though, as well, Stel, is that historically we've never signed big name players,
which is why we win nothing, Maz.
Yeah, but you're we can't make a song and dance about a manager who's brought in players to improve the team, and then say, "Oh, but they're not big name players."
I'm not blaming Ange. I'm not blaming Ange.
Well, okay, not Ange. Even you could. There's obviously someone to blame, which is Levy, right? But he's never done that ever.
All I know is we were 5 or 6 points off first place. We've got good players coming back, and we're in the FA Cup. To me, go and sign 3 really good players. Try and win the league. You'll probably fall short, but you know what? If you aim for first, you guarantee top 4. Try and win the FA Cup. Put a freaking trophy in that cabinet that's been empty for 15 years. When I see freebies like Timo Werner, and I'm sitting there watching us against Man United, a washed out Man United team that are on their knees, and we turn up with a front three that couldn't create, that couldn't score. I'm thinking, we've just given Man United a point. It didn't need to be this way. Bring in the players and actually make a difference. We didn't do it for me. I said on We Are Tottenham TV, I said on this channel, I don't know what other shows on, and I said, the one thing I really want to see Spurs do is a top centre-back and someone that's got goals in them. We haven't done the goals bit for me.
In January.
We haven't. Yes.
There must be
2 weeks left.
There must be a
Don't.
Yeah, but Lee, that's one game gone that we've dropped 2 points though. We could have done it before, no?
Listen, they're not just opening the Argos catalogue and going, I'll have him. They've
had 2 months to prepare, Lee. They've had 2 months to prepare.
I know.
The dream team.
Most players 2 months before that are good, not world class, but are good players that are in clubs that are actually on a good run or top 5, 6 of their league, etc. There's no reason for them to leave. So unless we find a starlet from somewhere in the mid-tables or someone's going to actually push
that's
up.
the whole point of having Mun,
I think you can go around Europe, Lee.
Listen, I'll be honest with you. The one name that jumps out at me that's absolutely prime to go and get is Jota.
Right, so why haven't we done that?
But we don't know it isn't happening. We've heard fringes.
Even Jota is proven in Scotland, right?
So's Ange.
So's Ange.
No, but even Andrew's a gamble, right? So you bring in Jota, it's not necessarily going to be better than what Werner is.
Timo's not a gamble.
Less of a gamble than what Jota is.
Brendan Johnson for 50 million isn't a gamble.
That is a gamble, I agree with you. But
so we're happy to spend 50 million on a gamble, but not 30 on.
Yeah, but
these are excuses, man. We are making excuses for me.
You're giving one equivalence to. You can't give a summer signing the same equivalence as a loan player coming in January to plug a hole whereby Solomon, our left forward tackle, got injured, and Perisic.
Listen, Stel, I think Werner is a stopgap, right? It's not the answer. It's a stopgap, right? You telling me if Crystal Palace knocked on the door tomorrow and says, right, we're going to have issues in the summer, we can't do that. 75 million for Elise, you can have him. Do you really think we'd say no right now?
What?
No, we wouldn't.
For Elise?
Or 70 million or whatever.
Right now. I don't think Levy would spend that kind
of money. I think we would, Lee. I don't think we'd spend that money.
I don't think we'd spend 75
But there you go then. So these players aren't coming.
No, but there must be a player across Europe who's fast and can score goals across the whole of Europe.
There probably is. We just haven't found them yet. We just haven't found them yet.
Yeah, but so what have they been doing for 2 months? What have they been doing for 2 months?
That these guys should have been doing for the last 2-3 months prior to this window. It shouldn't start from the 1st of Jan. These guys should be working.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't, JP. But as I said, January is hard because you all we know, we could have had a list of 10 players. Every single one of them said, I don't want to move yet. I will do it in the summer. I'll do it summer. And Timo Werner was the 11th player. How do we know that? We don't know. We're just speculating, right? And still, I get what you're saying. Bringing him in is not showing ambition to go and win something this year if we spent the money. But all I'm saying is, I'm not saying that we're not doing it. I'm just saying you can't expect it to be as easy as we see it in the comments every day. Oh yeah, we should go and get this player. We're going to get. You guys think, not you guys, but a lot of fans think it's so easy to get these players like Gallagher. We still keep going on about Gallagher. He's not going to score. But what I'm giving you a scenario though. So many people keep going. Gallagher, get him in 50. I don't think Gallagher's ever coming to Tottenham. I don't think he wants to come and play for us. So what's the point of spouting his name? That could be the same with everyone else. We could have had a list of 10 players. They don't want to move. Blah blah blah. And Werner is the only thing that's optioned to plug a gap at the moment. We'll look again in the summer.
This is the problem with Tottenham Hotspur. And I said this on Savage Show. Football, like many things in life, moves quickly. an opportunity has presented itself to us. Same thing happened with Harry Redknapp. Same thing happened with Redknapp. We're going back now. We haven't learned our lessons. Redknapp wanted 2 players, and he said, get me them 2 players, I'll win you the league, right? We are in the same position, 5 points off the top, whatever it was, 6. You have got an opportunity to challenge for the Premier League. This is what big clubs should be thinking. You're in the FA Cup. If you beat Man City at home, you've got to be one of the favourites now to win the FA Cup.
Absolutely agree. I agree with everything you're saying.
So you've built this team together of data analytics, Scott Munn, Paratici, Johan Lange, Mackenzie. You've built this team to take over the footballing duties. They've had 2 months to plan and put together, speak to agents, load it up, ready to go, bring in the players. And what do I see? Dragusin, good. Should have done a bit earlier, but we got him. And Timo Werner on a free.
So
that's the best you can come up with.
So
and we've employed all these people.
So still,
I'm sorry. No ambition. We're delaying the inevitable, which is, right, we'll do it in the summer. Guess what?
You don't know. Hold on. You don't know. This is what I'm saying, though, Sil. You don't know. You don't know that they didn't have 8 people in front of Timo Werner that all said no, right? Or are out of price rate. That's what you don't know. I agree with you. I agree with everything you're saying about we should get the players in now to push on for this. I get that, but you don't know that that isn't the case. You're speculating that that's what they're doing.
Okay,
so that's all I'm saying. All I'm saying. I'm not disagreeing with you.
Okay, then I'll counter it. If all 8 players turned us down, then we've gone for the wrong players. We haven't done our homework before approaching them, and there is something wrong with our club if we can't attract one of those 8. Massively wrong with our club.
Yeah, I agree with you. No, it's not
because Madison, one phone call, I'll come to you lot.
I reckon if you got a player said no now, and we end up in Champions League, and they see what we've done in the summer, I bet their head will be turned. Right now, though,
you're telling me not one of our 8 players. We said, come play with Son. Come play with Maren van der Ven. Come play with one of the best up-and-coming goalkeepers.
We don't know. We don't know who they targeted. We just don't know.
I know.
I don't believe they targeted Werner, mate. I don't believe that's who they targeted from day one. I believe there's others.
They've had Levy's given them a fucking shit budget. They've blown most of it on, what's his name? The Dragon. And they said, right, listen, sell players if you want anyone else. Oh, but we can get Timo on a free. Free, go on then. And do you want Timo? Well, can't we get something better? It's that or nothing. Yeah, go on. I can work with him.
This is what I want to do.
I've seen this before.
This is what I want to say. I
don't want to get super negative.
I want to say, I 100% agree with you. 100%. I've had 2 shows, right? One with Scott M, and it said exactly that. And use Lloyd Kelly as an example. But I think that the conversation today, going to the United game, and what I guess I can't speak for Will, but from what I'm saying is, so I'm trying to find the positive. All I'm saying is that what I saw for that game going forward is like, wow, Timo is clearly, and I mean clearly, I'm being serious, on the wing, right? I'm not talking about Kulu playing the middle. On the wing is the best person on the wing who has technical ability in the final third in getting that ball to our strikers. And I'm thinking that, and the thought that came in my head yesterday was Sonny. When Sonny comes back, when we go through that period where we play those easy fixtures, right? Well, no fixture is easy, right? I'm like, okay. This may be fun in the sense of, because for me, I've been frustrated with Son, with Kulu on the side, and Johnson on the side, because I'm just like, oh, I got 2 wasteful passers, wasteful wingers out there. With Wenger, right? With Timo Werner, with Timo Werner, at least I'm like, yo, this guy is going to give Sonny some chances to be able to score, which is going to help us. And so that's the outlook I'm looking at. in regards to it has nothing to do with the ambition. I know the ambition.
You're hoping that would happen.
Yeah, I'm hoping, right? The ambition of this club, it is terrible. I agree with you. I agree. We should be going for Jimenez.
Murray, I go back to what I said earlier then. What happens if Son gets injured? Then what?
We're screwed.
Which is why in this window you've got to try and take away that risk, right?
We need goal scorers, not wingers. We need goal scorers.
Than the original question. That's what I'm saying. It's a different topic than from the.
We need both actually. We need wingers and goal
scorers. Talking about Timo in the United game and what you saw, I thought he had if with the clue with the shooting, I thought he had a meh performance, but his meh is better than Johnson or anything else that's on the wing, and so that's why we try to look at these things, with that whole picture,
Because who's that guy in Germany? Is it Garassi or something? Is it Garassi? Willow probably knows.
See, this is a lazy statement. There's no positives. There was yesterday in those 60 minutes. I seen one of the best winger performances, not including Sonny, in regards to technical ability on the ball.
Murray, you've lost.
Murray.
That's how I do. That's what I saw in the 60 minutes. I was just like, man, if this guy if he could know how to shoot, if this guy could be clinical, man, this would be good.
If he knew how to shoot, my God.
We need someone to be able to shoot, right? Anyone.
Mate, even I don't agree with that. We can't have him in front of goal. You can use him as a winger to get down the line, cutting balls back, but not in front of goal.
Yeah, no, I agree with you guys. And
do you know what? Right, when I look at the competition we're up against, City, Liverpool, that's the real competition. Yeah, Arsenal from last season, not this season. Across the front three, I just see goal scorer, goal scorer, goal scorer, and I think that's what we've got to compete against. And I look at Spurs, and other than Heung-min Son and once in a while Kulu, that front three for me, I don't know, man. I'm used to Berbatov, Defoe, and Keane. I'm used to Dele Alli, Ericsson, and Kane. And now I'm looking at Johnson, Timo, Pigeon. I can't.
Let's take a step back. Let's take a step back, right?
I think I need to go to bed.
We'll wrap up, right? But let's take a step back, right?
I'm joking.
Our biggest gripe in the last 5 years has been the way we've been signing players, not backing the managers, the quality of the signings. It's gone massively downhill from back in the day, from the first 10 years of the ENIC ownership to the latter half, right? So we're in this situation because of effectively what Levy has done in terms of his continued bad management of the club and the squad, and then not backing Mourinho, Conte, etc. So you can't expect Ange, as good as he has been, right, to come in and change everything literally in one summer window in January. He's only been here for 6 months, right? It's just unrealistic expectations. What you can expect him to do is bring in players to uplift the squad and get at the dross that he's seen before. Now, he can't. I don't think you can do it in massive jumps. If you're going to do it in massive jumps, you have to spend 500 million in your first season or something ridiculous, whatever the number is.
I agree with you, Maz. I fully agree with what you're saying. Right? It's going to take time. I get all that. The point I'm making is, though, we fixed the defense for me. I think Porro, Udogie, Van der Ven, Romero, Ricario, excellent. Right? Bring it on. I look at the midfield once they're fit. Basuma, Bentancur, Papasar, Maddison, Lo Celso, if his injuries don't continue. I'm thinking, do you know what? We got a really, really good midfield there in the making. I'm just talking about the front three. Under Ange, under nobody else, under Ange, we have signed Solomon, Werner, Brennan Johnson, Veliz. And I'm thinking, how does that correlate with what you've brought into the midfield or defence? Your defensive acquisitions have been impressive. your midfield acquisitions. Happy with that. I look at the 4 attacking players he's signed, and I'm like, this is a joke.
Can I answer that then? Right.
Do you
Let
see where
me
I'm coming
answer
from,
it.
Maz? Does that make sense?
It does make sense, right? And I think one of the reasons for that is there's several reasons. One, they couldn't identify a replacement for Kane, and probably Levy was hoping that Kane would stay, right? That there would, they wouldn't conclude the negotiations.
Don't you think that's why they signed Richarlison a year ago, because they knew what was coming?
Possibly, right? 2, Levy's probably saying, I've just spent 65 million quid on the real R9, right? I need him. He's a brilliant player. Everyone's telling me he's brilliant. So he's good up front. And 3, we've got Son. I think a combination of those 3 things is probably why we've gone out and bought those players that you said, right? Now, what's happening is the reality is hitting home. But for me, it was amazing that they managed to fix the defense. Amazing that we managed to get a goalkeeper that's, as good as prime Lloris, right? Judging by what we've seen so far, right? But whether or not he continues, that's remains to be seen. You're right. The midfield is looking excellent, assuming that everyone doesn't get sent off or stays fit or, whatever, right? That's a miracle that's happened in such a short space of time. But I'm not expecting this miracle just to continue forevermore. You can't just expect a miracle to happen up front as well. It's not going to happen still. It's unrealistic.
No, but the thing is, two of the 4 signings up front are freebies, Solomon and Timo. So they're actually, it's almost like a cost-cutting exercise when it comes to the attacking lineup. And I'm thinking...
And you're surprised?
I don't think it's a cost-cutting. I think it's probably just the expectation of where we are right now wasn't the expectation at the beginning of the season. They're doing it in stages. And we've got to a point now where actually you're absolutely right. We are in a position where, do you know what? A couple more players and we could push. Again, not going to win the title, but we can push and guarantee that top 4 spot. And I think that's just come up and bit them too quickly. And they're like, well, we didn't really plan to replace these people. We don't know who to target. We're now at January. Let's get a couple of people in as a stopgap. I completely agree with you. It's not necessarily the planning is right, but on the flip side of that, there may be people that we focused on, but we couldn't get them. So we're now just we're scraping the bucket because we've got no other choice. And that's, I agree with you. That's bad planning, but I don't think they necessarily maybe plan for that right now. They might have planned for that for the summer, and this is where it's all sort of unravelled in the forward 3 in January.
Yeah,
but they might come up with something in two weeks. We don't know, but
Lee,
I agree with you, Stel. I agree with you.
That's where you have to be agile enough to have a look and see what way it's going, right? Because
exactly.
Your plan always moves throughout your financial year, throughout the season, whatever you want.
I mean, no one expected us, JP, to be where we were after 10 games, right?
Exactly.
Well,
no one expected
after
us
10
to be
games, we were in a good place, right?
Yeah.
So that should put the trajectory of the plan going forward.
For me, once again,
ready for that January window, as we said ages ago, if we're in touching distance of that 4th place, then January should be a key window.
I just think as a club, right, I'm getting mixed messages. We brought in all these experts in recruitment. They had 2 months to plan. Okay. Once again, we've shown that we're unable to be flexible and adapt when an opportunity arises. So we're going to miss the opportunity again. And then we've got a manager sitting there saying, we're in a title race, mate. What fucking planet are you on then? Like, if we're in a title race, surely you bring in the players to make it a proper race. Like, I don't know, man. I agree with everything you lot are saying. I'm not disagreeing with it all. I just find it all a bit... It doesn't add up to me. I look at the front 3 and I'm just very underwhelmed, man. I really am. I think it lets us down. All the beautiful football, the attacking play.
Don't disagree with you, mate. Don't disagree with you.
Did Phil Pease put in a super chat? Because I can't see it.
Yeah, do you know what? There's quite a few. Let me go through them. We've missed loads. Guys, sorry about the super chats. Will and I were arguing about who's got the bigger dick.
No, we know.
For the record, I do, but that's okay.
Can I be honest with you, Will? Like, other than our debate to one side, you probably do have a bigger penis based on your height. Because you're 6 foot. What are you, 6'4"?
6'5".
5.
6'5".
Really, in that
5'8".
chair, you only look about 5'3".
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a short
All
chair.
right, get,
Here, we'll make it smaller. How about that?
all right, get back to
There
the
you go.
super chats.
Now, how tall do I look?
Right. So we did all the other ones from before. Aroch Speets, thanks again for your super chat. He says, "What do you think about Højbjerg? Ling
was horrible.
Junior swap."
I think he had. I actually think he had a bad game. Everyone was saying, "Oh,
He
he's
was
done
the worst
well,"
game.
but I
He was the worst player on the pitch for me.
It's time
His
for an upgrade.
his passing was pretty bad, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, just give him the ball in the midfield.
And there was once he fell over his own feet.
Yeah, I remember that. We've got a super chat here from Daniel Montandon DRF. Big up to you. Stel, you're right about Vernon Johnson. Big up the panel. Glad you agree. Phil P says, "What's more high risk, Timo or Stel's hat in the winter?"
It's windy out there, Phil. I mean, that a little
Timo.
gust and that's coming straight off.
I would blame Timo for everything. So, but I'm sure everyone's going to say hat. A user, big up for your super chat. He says, "Can I say when Werner was at Chelsea, he was under Lampard, who is a crap manager. When Tuchel arrived, Timo's confidence was shot. He got him on a loan under a different system. Give him a chance." So A user agrees with Will's logic regarding Lampard and Tuchel. What we'll say though is right. Can we just quickly say this right? You know when people say like players don't do well under Tuchel, yet Harry Kane under Tuchel's flying. Is it because Kane's in a shit league, or is it because Kane's just a good player? He does well under any manager.
Kane's the best striker in the world, mate.
And he's got two quality wingers next to him that are just putting them on a plate for him, as well as doing as good as he is as well. Because those two, Sane and the other guy, they're just absolutely flying, those two.
He also has a quality centre-back now, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Eric Dyer's there.
Who could win a Champions League and a Bundesliga, but will never be remembered for it.
Can you believe that Eric Dyer has gone to Bayern Munich? Like, does this defy all logic and intelligence?
Can you believe that he can win a Champions League and a league this year? Potentially.
If he doesn't play a minute, I don't think that should be allowed.
Got another super chat from Della Spurs. Real world class clubs have top forwards. LV, Man City, RM, and Bayern. Top could have had that with Kane, Son, and proper backing. Yeah, look, I don't think anyone disagrees with you, Della Spurs. We've said 100 times we never built a team around Kane and Son, and that in the end, that's probably
wasted.
But we're FFP safe. You can't say that, right? We're FFP safe.
Last thing before we wrap up, guys. League table. So, what do you guys make of it? Let's start from top down. Will, league table. What do you think? Do you still think we're going to finish above Arsenal and finish third, or do you think we can do
Absolutely.
better?
Why wouldn't I think that?
Well, they've got a game in hand on us, so they could go 3 points clear if they beat Palace.
Yeah, and they got to play Liverpool, West Ham, and who else? And they're next in February. I can't remember the other team. There's another team where they're going to drop points. Newcastle.
How many tough games have we got away from home left? Anfield's one. City.
We don't play any of those teams till April. Away from home, just Liverpool,
Villa,
and Chelsea. That's it.
We've got Villa away, haven't we?
Yeah. And
we already showed in the Villa game that we played. We should have won that.
Chelsea, yeah, we should have beaten them. I think at their ground they're a bit
smash them.
What about Aston Villa? Do you think we'll overtake them, guys?
I think it's more they'll drop. If they continue to play, we'll probably finish fourth, and Arsenal will finish fifth. But I think they'll drop out at some point. They could not.
You'd expect that dip to come from them at some point, right?
What we'll say is Liverpool, City, Villa, Arsenal, West Ham, all of them have got Europe. We don't. We're the only team in the top 6 that doesn't have midweek football coming up.
Yeah, but
So
we've
does
had
that start? It
yeah,
starts
but we've
back up
had
in February,
80
doesn't it?
injuries. We've had 80 injuries to combat that, right?
Right. Go on, yeah, go on.
I was going to say Europe starts back up around mid-February time, is it? When the Champions League and the other cups competitions.
yeah.
So just as we are getting all of our players back,
That's when
they're
they
going to
start
start
to
having
do-
more than one game a week, which potentially goes in our favour. That's the time we need to put a stranglehold on these teams.
So you need to
and basically get the
finish
points
off like we started.
Because the end of the
season, right?
the end of the season running is where we potentially will drop points given some of the games that we've got.
Let me ask you a question, right? I'm going to ask you. Based on what you just said, they all start European football, our players are back. Are we dark horses or not?
For the league? No.
Why not?
Because I think especially Man City and Liverpool, or certainly Man City, have got the depth to be able to cover those two games. There's 2 games a week or whatever, etc. I think I've got enough to rotate where it won't affect them that much. Whereas the smaller teams that are in Europe that don't have it, that's where we can take points. But I think Liverpool and Man City are the 2 that are going to fight it out.
But if we go on another run like we did at the start of the season,
yeah, that's fine. But that's expectation is though that they're going to drop off, which I can't see them doing.
And
they've got to lose for us
moments,
to go in. We can go on and run as much as we like, but they've got to lose.
But we've got to play them both.
I think the deciding factor will be is our nerve, and in those clutch moments where we really do, will we pull through? And typically we don't. And that inconsistency, I think, is what's going to make us drop off.
I mean, listen, still, come the FA Cup, right? Now, Pep might put his strong team out. Okay? No Europe for a couple of weeks. No Haaland. But anyway, even without Haaland, it's still a strong team, especially with KDB back. Every majority of the Spurs fans are saying we can do them at home, blah, blah, blah. But going back to your point, where are we going to find this goal or couple of goals or whatever to beat them in that game at home?
I don't think we beat Man City in the FA Cup without Son.
No, exactly. We're not going to have him.
I don't think
so. That's where I struggle with that game. I know what we've done in the past, but I struggle with where is the goal going to come from?
If Maddison
we can defend for 90,
then maybe.
Yeah, maybe. But
Will, do you think we can beat Man City in the cup without Son?
It's at our ground. They don't score at our ground, so all we have to do is score 1. So,
well, exactly, and that's what I'm completely with Will. We've got the defence back and the midfield back. We stop them scoring exactly like we've done before. I think we can do that. I just worry where is the goal going to come from, and I think I don't know about Madders. I mean, everyone said the beginning of February. So, but maybe Angie's keeping him. As you say, he's done it twice before. He's done it the last couple of ones. They've come out of nowhere. So maybe he's that. But then even with Maddison as a creative player, when you've got Son in front of you, it's easy to be creative. When you've got Richarlison in front of you, who's facing our goal, it's really hard to be creative and put those balls through, right? So
I'm telling you, dragging some set pieces.
Yeah, we'll have a bit of that.
All right, guys, listen, we're going to wrap it up. We've had over 300 people watching pretty much throughout the 3 hours. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. I've told you this one was going to be explosive. It's the one you've been waiting for. I don't think we let you down. Look, it's not for everyone, but for those of you that like real talk,
Madonna's fans,
here, not holding back and saying it as it is, like, subscribe, follow the channel. If it's not for you, feel free to watch anyway. Just want to quickly say thank you to some super chats from Ryan Isaacs
as well.
Say again.
Feel free to subscribe as well, even if you don't.
Have we lost any? Normally we lose some when we do a show.
No.
We lose any.
No, I'm no joking. Big up to Ryan Isaacs. Big up to Euroch Beats for quite a few super chats. Big up to Della Spurs as well. He put in a couple of super chats. Big up to Daniel Montandon, big up to you. Phil P as well, and a user. Thank you all for your super chats. Will, did you save this? If you did, I don't know what it means.
Oh yeah, he's saying Levy hasn't really bought players this quickly before. He did under Conte in that summer window where we bought like a bunch of junk early on, Perisic and Fraser Forster.
I think for January we've acted quick. In fairness,
yeah,
It's
for
been a
January, we
long
always
time
sign
in
on the last
January.
day in January. Normally, we always get about 2 players every January window, but it's always like the last day of the January window, right? Kulu, Poro, Bentancur. I think Dan Juma we got like a week before the end of the window. But yeah, for the most part, it is pretty early for January.
Dan Juma, that's the one that I can't never work out why we took him. He can't even get in the Everton squad.
It's cheap. It's cheaply. This is what.
Do you remember stuff? Free Dan Juma.
It's another Timo.
Free Dan Juma, my God.
I think Timo Werner is better than Dan Juma.
Yeah,
don't start, Will.
I just quickly want to go around and everyone say their last words. But as you do, make sure you answer this question: are we going to sign one more player before the end of the window? And if so, what position? Will, you go first?
I think there's a very, very slight chance that we sign another player, and if it is, it's probably going to be in midfield. Look, a lot of people are crapping on Conor Gallagher, but I've been watching him for Chelsea this season. I actually think he's been playing good, and I think in this system, he would be a far better player than Oliver Skip or any of those guys. Like, he's not as good as Basuma Bentancur, but as far as squad depth is concerned, I wouldn't mind having Conor Gallagher, to be honest with you. He works hard. He works as hard as Sarr, and he's better on the ball than Sarr. Got a better shot on him than Sarr. Yeah, that's it.
So we're saying slight chance. If so, midfielder Conor Gallagher type player.
I don't want, like, he's not my first choice. If I were to go, I would go get Kane from Mönchengladbach. But I'm just saying, of the people that we're linked to currently, I don't think Conor Gallagher would be a bad signing.
Class. Connor's a class player.
5 out of 10, I think. So for me, Timo Werner is a 4 out of 10. Dragonson is like a 5 out of 10. I think Conor Gallagher would be a 5 out of 10.
Mari?
I think it's probably could be a small chance also of us signing. If you believe the reports from Ali Gold and what's the other guy, Eccleshare, and
don't talk about them.
Yeah, they're saying a midfielder. So I think we need another forward. I think we need a striker or winger. To be honest with you, but I don't know. I think my scary thing is they may be done.
But Mari, you just told me we signed one of the best technical wingers you've seen.
No, on our club.
I had to. I can't help it. I don't know. I can't help it.
On our club, I mean, he's technically better than any of the other forwards on our club, minus Son.
I think I've got mental.
And it's on the wing, minus Son and Kulu. That's how much I don't rate Johnson, Brian Hill, Solomon. But yeah.
All right, JP, are we going to sign one more player? And if so, what position?
More than likely a midfielder. I would have liked to have signed someone who can put the ball in the net, to be honest, but we've got Werner now, so I guess we roll with that. I think it'll have to be, it more than likely would be someone in the middle, quite possibly Højbjerg going out and another head coming in, just to kind of like maybe with a bit more legs. Conor Gallagher is an interesting one because I was having a chat about this the other day, and the fact that he's currently first teamer at Chelsea, captain, I believe. It would be
Conor Gallagher's captain.
Yeah,
they're not sticking to us for shit.
And the fact that
I said desperate for money.
I think it's something about his contract's finishing soon, right? And in terms of FFP, if someone gives about 40 million quid, it's possible that Chelsea would let him go. Now, I don't know if we'd pay that amount of money. So really, I'm looking for I'm assuming that we'd probably get a youngish kind of someone in the Højbjerg mould with a bit more legs. But apart from that, I don't think we're going to get another forward now. At the end of the day, I did say when I was chatting the other day with Shai, the fact that I really wanted someone to score goals because I thought that was our gap. And unfortunately, Timo doesn't do the goals bit for me. But yeah, maybe a midfielder.
So you're all saying the same thing then, Lee? Are we going to sign another player? If so, what position do you think?
Yeah, I think we will sign another player. I think I'd love it to be an actual proper winger. I really do. I just don't think once Madders is back, Kulu goes back into one of those wing roles. I think we've got too many there to buy another one now. I think it will be probably Højbjerg coming out and someone to replace him. That's what I think. But I could be wrong. That's where I see it going anyway.
Maz, what about yourself?
No players. We're done.
It's funny.
Shut us down. Put a lock on.
That's it. We've done our business. That's it. We're done.
It's funny Maz said that because for me, this is what I think.
Yeah.
Oh, is that Ndombele's brother? The skinny version.
That's our signing, actually. I've changed my mind still. Ndombele's coming back.
And nobody.
Ndombele come back.
How is he still
slot him into the midfield?
Mate, I want him back. Straight into the middle there. He'll absolutely ball it up.
On that breaking news that Ndombele is returning. Guys, everyone, thank you for tuning in, watching, like, subscribe, follow the channel. Big up to Will Stewart, Iggy, who left earlier on, Maori, JP, Lee, Maz, and also to all the people in the chat today and to the super chats. We'll be back. This Maury, didn't you show this week?
Yep. North London's hours come back on Thursday. I will do the Spurs Lounge when we start picking up the schedule, having more games. But yeah, we'll definitely do enough London's hours on Thursday.
I'm gonna be on that show because I spoke to Stefan and he said he's coming on. And my God, I am going to put him through a mincing machine.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Tune into that one, I tell you.
Yeah.
That boy's in trouble. That boy's in big trtrouble. The claims he made. Yeah. All right, guys. This is
well, yeah, we would love to have you that Thursday too. If you,
so for me, I'll probably start doing a show. Even though we don't have games this weekend, I'm gonna start trying to do shows. They're gonna be a little bit early and they're gonna be shorter. But my son's done with football now. Work's starting to get back to normal, and yeah, we're gonna start doing it.
All right, so we've got loads of shows coming out this week. There you go. Just hit the notification bell, and you'll find out when they come out. People, we're out of here. Believe it or not. Come on, you Spurs, even if you believe what I say or not.
The first game we look for, Robbie. Tottenham away. When we got Tottenham away. Tottenham away.